Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner and I'm here with Sean Bell.
Hello.
Matt Murray.
Hello.
James Farley.
Hello.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, we can't talk about it.
I know, it's a visual element, but it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah. We would like to start the show by thanking our Patreon producers for this month. They are the Fullnels crew. Wonderful Fullnels crew. Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Jack Oven, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights are Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gazman, Rocketman76, Grey Dragon Claw, Fred Fenge, Smooth Monkey, Don Whiskerando, Colin Smith, Richard Sawyer, Tom S., John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Gordon Garrow, Safe As Records, Nose Jam, Sam Higton, Don Johnston, and Max Watkins. I did so well until the end. I'm so sorry,
close.
Max. But you are the Fullnels crew. We really do appreciate each and every one of you, whether I say your name right or not.
I'm sad that we haven't got Merry Christmas Wolf Sword anymore, though.
Yeah.
was a favourite.
But, sunrise, sunset.
It's true. It's all on loan, mate.
Patreon.com/TCGS, various different tiers there. We're doing Grand Theft Auto streams this month. We've got a bonus show coming up. And Marvel Calls, you're still getting it a week early, and there's not long left. If you're subscribed to our Patreon, this Friday's episode is The Eternals. Not the biggest advert for our Patreon, I must admit, but The Eternals
I don't know what you're on about. It's a great film.
It is
covered on Friday.
Loads to talk about.
We do definitely cover it.
We've just recorded our Spider-Man No Way Home episode, James, and I think that might be one of my favourites that we've ever done.
It was very good.
It was one of the longest.
Yeah.
It's like an hour and 35 minutes, I think it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
There was some forthright opinions in that. It was
there was some frank discussion about that movie. So that'll be out in a few weeks. But that's enough of that. We should get onto feedback, but I think there's something we should address this week, something that happened. I don't know if anyone noticed it, but
if
you remember, those who have been long-term listeners of podcasts that I've been involved in might remember the time that my co-host Michael Fox posted a spoiler on the front page of our website for a video game that had only been out. Like, it was a whodunit game. It was Heavy Rain. And he posted the killer on the front page of our website. Yeah, posted whodunit. Like, this was like 2 days after the game. Well, something rather similar happened this week.
Oh, come on. It's nowhere near the same.
as bad as, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll let you guess
it's nowhere near the same.
Fault it was. James, why were you posting spoilers to Gears of War Ragnarok, God of War Ragnarok? God of War Ragnarok on our YouTube channel.
I was not intentionally doing that. Why on earth would I do that intentionally?
Well, how on earth could you do it unintentionally?
Okay, actually, shall we talk about why this happened? Because there are reasons, and they're mostly your fault, David, actually, as to why this happened.
Here we go.
Should have known it was Dave's fault.
Here we go.
It was tamper with your PlayStation.
No, he did, and that's the problem.
Right, okay, I'm biased here.
Yep.
I'm biased here. Sean, Matt, you make a decision on whose fault this is. It's either mine or James. Let's hear what James has to say about this situation.
I'm excited to hear his evidence.
Okay, I don't know if you remember maybe about a year ago, I think it was, when we first got the PS5 and we first started saying, I want to stream some stuff. But then there was a whole thing where, no, shut up, you're not supposed to be saying anything, Dave. There's no need to react.
That wasn't a rule. You just introduced that rule, but go on.
No, you said I'm going to just keep out of this, and Sean and David
can I just say, I'm gutted that I no longer have the stream layout with all the Phoenix Wright Court stuff.
Oh my god, yeah. That should always be one button press away, shouldn't it?
Good, James.
Yeah, so when we got the PS5, I was like, okay, I'm going to start streaming stuff. And, I tried to sign into Twitch on that, and I couldn't. And I think you remember, why that was. And it turned out that, despite the lengthy conversations we had, it turned out that David had left his one signed in. And so I couldn't sign in, so it was no good. And I couldn't sign into Twitch on the PS5.
I remember that, yeah.
It was really annoying. And I was going mad about it.
Did you, to log out?
I nearly went to game, like where I traded in my PS4 to try and get that one back so that I could sign out on it or something because it was that. And then it turned out,
hold on. Can I ask a question?
Go on.
Why would you have to go and get your old thing to sign out if it was my fault?
Because, David, we thought that because you didn't say that you'd signed in on there, and so I assumed that I was the last one using it, and because of that, you could have ended this at any moment just by saying, "Oh yeah, it was probably me." But no, you didn't own up to that at all. So I nearly had to go and get another one back that I'd already sold just so I could sign out so that it would release the key. Anyway, so that was very irritating. So to try and get around that, we were like, okay, maybe I can stream on YouTube instead. So I signed in on the PS5 to YouTube because using our account, because I just thought, well, maybe I can stream onto YouTube instead of Twitch. Won't be as good, won't be that great. So we didn't do that in the end, and I forgot. I just left it signed into that. Now, what I don't understand.
It's my fault that you forgot.
It's nothing to do with this, Dave. Just shut up.
Okay.
Just shut up.
Right, sorry.
Okay? So anyway,
sorry.
So then what I don't understand about what happened with this is I've had that signed in to YouTube for since the PS5 came out, for ages and ages. I have got trophies and everything over that entire period. Why did it on this one occasion decide to upload a video of that one single trophy to YouTube when it hadn't done any of the others? I don't know why that
That's
would be.
That's what we're asking.
I know. Well, that was the
question.
and you said it was my fault, but
no, I said it was your fault that I ended up being signed into YouTube because you didn't tell us what had actually happened with Twitch.
Has he changed his defence there?
No, I've not changed anything.
Did you say your defence and realised how much nonsense it was?
Well, no, there is no defence. I don't know why it suddenly just did one trophy when it's never did a single other one.
Okay, I've got a suggestion. Maybe why you click something.
Don't think so.
No, but I think you must have.
Well, maybe I did. I don't know.
I think you did. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Well, no,
you are there.
But that's what I'm saying.
Please never defend yourself in court.
No, but this is what
I'm defending myself.
I can't listen. I can't rule anything out at this point because I don't know what it was. But all I can say, the only thing I can rule out is that I did this on purpose. Because absolutely, I didn't do that on purpose. Why would I do that? That is very.
You're on the
that is very.
James,
shut up.
You've just got 3 years.
No, shut up.
How is that even possible?
We may have reduced it to manslaughter from murder, but it's still not.
It was not on purpose. It's absolutely not the same as Michael writing a thing where he's actually just written who the killer is. That's completely not anywhere near the same.
I would say I was amazed. I mean, I woke up. This was Saturday morning, was it, Matt?
Yeah,
or Sunday morning.
I don't know. Let's say Saturday, and I got notifications. I had notifications of when we upload a new video. I was like, "Oh, brilliant! Video uploaded from what?
Someone's so productive."
God of War Ragnarok. Who the hell's doing this at this time?
And when I saw what it was, and I saw the picture, I thought that's a spoiler in its own. And you somehow uploaded the same video twice.
I don't know why. I don't know why it did that.
And the videos were called My Kratos.
Anyway, I've unlinked it now, so it's completely unlinked.
If anyone did see that, I am so sorry. I don't know why I'm apologising. James, are you sorry again?
Yeah, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry for any upset this has caused anybody that didn't want to see the ending to the game. I'm very sorry.
Of all the bits it could have shared as well, that's what's incredible about it.
The image. Yeah, I mean, did you understand it?
What do you mean?
Did you see the image, Sean?
So I saw the thumbnail. Obviously, when Matt sent it, but obviously it was so out of context.
Right. Okay. That's okay.
Okay.
Well, do you want to apologise to the listeners, James?
Yeah. I'm very sorry for any
do you want to
harm
apologise to Sony Santa Monica?
No.
That's the point, yeah.
Why would I apologise to them?
For spoiling their game.
It's not my fault that PlayStation software is faulty.
It's never your fault, is it?
No, it's Sony's fault, isn't
it? Your fault.
It is Sony's fault.
Should we get to the feedback for last week's show, Matt? Come on. They all loved it, did they?
Yes, especially the Sesh Prince of Bel-Air. Dear TCGS 2023 edition, I'd like to back Sean up regarding cats and cat people. Oh, God, I just remembered that Sean slagged lots of cat people.
I forgot you opened this can of... Do you know how many fucking text messages I've got about you?
Text message? Who from? No, actually, no, that's weird. Don't you have to call them out.
Yeah.
Go on.
Go on.
I have 2 cats whom I love dearly, but they are fundamentally pointless animals. People who appreciate the low maintenance and standoffishness, in particular of a cat, should consider deliberately facilitating a mouse problem, or, if physical contact is desired, give themselves a tapeworm. Either will function fairly similarly as a pet and be much cheaper overall. Looking forward to another year of listening. Best regards. P.S. This message has been reviewed and approved by the cats prior to submission.
I feel like... obviously I'm not responding to the Sesh Prince of Bel-Air. I think that's an entirely fair message. Very good. Enjoyed it. I feel like I've been somewhat misrepresented in terms... Like, I never said I hate cats. That's not true.
That's not what you said in the WhatsApp chat, Sean.
What did I say? What did I say?
I never said that I hate cats publicly.
Yeah.
Fuck all cats, I think it was.
No, I was just saying there's a certain type of cat owner that just does me in a bit because they're just a bit snobby and weird about the whole thing. That's all.
Okay.
That's all the point I was making. And it's
a shame.
I
suppose we didn't have more feedback. I mean, I thought the entire form would be absolutely, laden.
I think
with...
most
the people that like
realise-
cats need to open their ears a little bit and listen to the points you were trying to make. The dog person was trying to make. Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, we don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
100%.
there was more feedback. It's just that maybe Sean's been deleting it.
That's
And the
true.
feedback
Yeah,
forms has come in.
Yeah, I usually check the form before everyone else. No, there was. I mean, there was some stuff in Discord. In the Discord, people saying, "I can't believe Sean hates cats." I was like, me neither, because it's not true.
Because I didn't say that.
Yeah, it's not what I said. It's not what I think. Yeah, cats are fine. I don't like 100%. I prefer dogs. This isn't me trying to pretend that I like cats as much as dogs, because I don't. But yeah.
So it's official then, is it? You like cats?
They're all right. They vary.
No, you can't.
I would
I
would not
that.
have one as a pet, which is a shame for Isaac because he fucking loves cats. Like, he really likes cats, and I'm just like, we're never getting a cat. Sorry. You good?
But Charlie likes dinosaurs. We're not having one of them as a pet either. Do you know what I mean? Okay, all right. Well, there's a little bit of backtracking there from Sean Bell.
Fucking hell.
Fuck shit.
Well, this is probably my favourite feedback ever.
Yeah, this is incredible.
Yeah. Alex, just listening to an old episode, and you mentioned that Sean and Dave both have size 10 shoes, James a 9, and Matt a little 7. I'm a size 12.
And that's it.
Cheers, Alex.
Thanks,
I
Alex.
appreciate it, Alex.
Very
Feel
pleased for you.
free to, at the end of it, all of your at the end of your messages for the next week or so, please just put your shoe size at the bottom.
Yeah, no,
it
I think
gives
that'd be
us some
good.
sort
So
of-
start,
Is 12 big enough that it's useful in sales? Because I always
It must
find
be,
that
right?
being like a sort of, a 9 to a 10, whenever there's a
Yeah,
sale
it
on, you can
sucks.
fucking guarantee that your size
Yeah,
is
the
gone.
9s and 10s are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. They always say to me, do you want an 8.5? No.
Yeah.
I really
No,
don't.
it's too tight. It's the same with t-shirts as well.
Yes.
We got small,
Extra
medium,
large.
no large. Book's there.
I'm size 7, so I guess that is quite small, isn't it?
I mean,
Size 7 foot
who
small,
cares?
Matt, yeah.
Right. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think, exactly. Who does care? Do you know
Well, it's just
what I mean?
dawned on me that, actually that's quite small. Oh no.
Okay.
Moley. Hi all. I'd just like to address the fact that James said he put 30 hours into Mario and Rabbids because he had nothing else to play, in inverted commas. I'm just wondering which backwater part of the UK he was visiting that didn't have Wi-Fi, where that meant he couldn't download something else in the eShop, assuming he wasn't transported back to a time where fast internet wasn't readily available. Can I ask him what causes him to torture himself so unnecessarily playing these games that he clearly doesn't enjoy?
Can I just step in and say, I think the answer is, knowing James as well as I do, he's played everything else on the eShop. That is literally, he plays them as they come out.
I mean, you're not wrong, actually. I mean, I've played pretty much everything that I want to that's on there, and it was the only thing I could play. But then also, I've got a problem. I've discussed this before. I've got a problem. When I start a game, I find it very difficult not to finish stuff. And it's a problem. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but you take it to a ridiculous level where it's not just about finishing stuff, it's about 100% in it, even if it's killing you.
You're getting
not
every
always,
single
not
Pokemon
always.
and ruining the game for
a
yourself.
lot of times, Pokemon, what was that game that you were just talking about? The Rabbids game?
Yeah, but I didn't 100% that. That was the thing. Like, I actually stepped away from that, and this was actually quite...
Right.
Honestly, this was quite a big development for me. To do that.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you've been growing a lot. That's worth doing.
86% on one planet. I didn't try and get 100%. I just walked away. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. He's a big boy now.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
That's why I'm quite excited to hear you talk about God of War Ragnarok. So, did you play Horizon Forbidden West?
I did. Yeah.
Did you get all them collectibles and that?
No, I didn't. Of course not. No, I'd still be playing it now if that was the case.
Yeah. So there is a size of game where you must think, no. Although Pokemon was pretty ridiculous.
I've made peace with this now in my brain, which is that what happens is if I pick up side quests and stuff when I'm playing a game, I will do them, but I'm not going to seek them out like specifically unless I've heard there's a really good one. So that's how I'm doing this now, rather than just thinking I've got to seek everything out and finish everything. If I come across something good, I'll do it. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it.
All right. Okay. James has his rules now, and no one's allowed to question him.
And he's grown as a person. Appreciate that.
Yes.
Stuart, fantastic GOTY show this year, lads. Glad to see my own favourite genre, the JRPG, get some representation, as 2022 was a bumper year for them, with Xenoblade 3 being the pinnacle. Feedback on last week's show in particular, though, I recently got into Fortnite for maybe 3 months now, and I have to agree with Sean that there is just so much fun to be had, even outside the core experience. I may be mistaken, and it wasn't mentioned last week, but was it the Zero build that got me to join... but it was the Zero build that got me to jump on board, and I was curious to see if that was how Sean was playing it too. I am old and can't build and shoot. Keep up the incredible work. Loving the 2023 Farley already. Love you loads. Stu. P.S. Please drop the office shtick. It's like listening to my uncle do Monty Python jokes in the 90s.
We haven't done much lately, have we?
No, we have.
You can still find it.
Sure, no, we're not dropping it. Stop playing Fortnite. You're not 12 years old. How about that? How about we say that about you? How about we say something nasty at the end of this thing where we go, good point, mate. Yeah, stop playing Fortnite. You're not a kid anymore. Grow up.
Something really
great
cutting,
email, you prick.
Oh, it's like a old man with a baseball cap on. With the New York Knicks on it or whatever.
Eat my shorts.
Yes,
That's so unnecessary, isn't it? At the end there, it's just so unnecessary.
It is.
And there's a kiss on it, like you sarcastic.
There is a kiss
twat.
on it.
And all right, there's a kiss. All right,
I'll take anything.
Anyway, Sean.
Yes, I've been playing Zero build mode. I haven't even attempted the normal mode. There's no point. Because to me, it's weird that the build stuff is still in that game. Because that's just a holdover from the original mode that wasn't even Battle Royale, and then they just sort of quietly binned it.
Oh, yeah, but it becomes such a huge part of what Fortnite is, right? We're just not very good at it.
Yeah.
Like, when you watch, it's unbelievable when you watch these kids play that game. Like Stu. You watch them and you're just like, oh no, not Stu's decided he's not doing that. But, it's crazy. It's like, they're barely shooting. Yeah. It is literally all about building, and you just think, wow, how is your brain calculating that quickly?
Ridiculous.
Do you know, I said to Asher the other day, like, do you want to play Fortnite? Because he's never played it. And I was like, do you want to give it a go? And he just said no. And I said, why? And he said, I'm worried I'm going to get addicted if I play it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, and he's a smart kid.
And he said, no, I don't want to play it. I mean,
so kids in his class aren't playing
either for some reason.
I mean, that is some incredible awareness for... How old is he? 8? 9?
9. Yeah, he's 9, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's seen his dad around cheese.
That's true.
The last thing he wants to do is get addicted to anything.
He's got my Switch in the locked box. In the fridge.
He's had to hold his dad back for getting to the Dare Elite.
Man, Dare Elite.
So love that
snorting cheese string.
So what are other kids playing his age in? And his mate's not playing it. His mate's playing it, but he's just not playing it, or what?
No, they're not playing it either, really. I mean, they're all playing... I mean, actually, the main reason is because he's still just playing Minecraft. That's the real addiction. It's just, just that. It's just...
Harry's going through a phase of playing FIFA, but not actually playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
He'll, go and do seasons where he's just simming everything.
Oh, right.
Or he'll do, a random tournament where just loads of random teams. So, Arsenal knocked out Switzerland of Harry's Cup or whatever it was the other day, but he just sims it all. It's so... I think one of the YouTubers he watches does it. So he's just obsessed with doing that.
Is he like playing with
odd.
like the setup or anything? Like, you know, how the teams or anything?
No.
Just
no, I think he does do that. Yeah, he tinkers with stuff. But like, it's just... I'm like, why are you not playing? The worst thing is that Charlie plays FIFA now, right? And they play FIFA together on the same side against, the computer. But then sometimes he'll go, okay, yeah, let's do this. Let's play FIFA. But Charlie's just sitting there while Harry's simming everything. It's just so... Harry, play with him.
Yeah, actually play the game with him,
there with a controller in his hand, barking at him because every now and then he'll press a button which screws up his little simulation thing that he's got going on.
So,
I need to get that boy on
you
Championship
can
Manager.
literally just watch the two computer teams play against each other?
No, so there's like quick sims and... where it looks like Championship Manager, like where icons are moving around the screen to represent it, or sometimes it will just come up with... I don't know, it's weird. He can do what he wants. It's his game, innit? Go on.
Yeah. Okay, Stuart, we've done. Chris Crockpot has messaged.
Oh, yeah.
This is probably too long and depressing to include in the show, but I've just finished a Gotti show and Citizen Sleeper was a deserving winner. It's one of my all-time favourite games. However, my experience is probably a little bit different from most, as I played it just after my dad died suddenly from a massive brain tumour. So the ending of the Lemon Meanness story, as you slowly wear out, utterly broke me. Also, hearing how Dave played Power Simulator as a form of catharsis really struck home. I put 50 hours into that game and hated every second of it, but that and a backlog of Marvel calls gave me some time where I didn't have to think. Anyway, thanks for all the entertainment over the years, and as always, fuck cancer. Thank you ever so much for your message, Chris.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, really, fuck cancer. Fuck it. Yeah, sorry to hear that you're going through that, Chris, and I hope you're doing well. It's amazing. It's amazing what gaming can do sometimes, isn't it?
My God, yeah.
A place to just switch your brain off and that.
I still remember, I might have mentioned this before, when my granddad died. Oh, no, was it my granddad? No, it was my auntie Val. And I was only 7 or 8, something like that. And I remember, basically, my mum just took me to, so it was like a friend of hers, and we knew their kids and stuff. So she's like, right, I'm taking you to Kate's house. I was like, okay, fine. Obviously, I barely aware of what was going on. And they had a Mega Drive, and I played Sonic 2 for long enough that Kate would come over occasionally and be like, are you sure your mum lets you play this for this long? Is this...
Yes.
And I was just like, yeah. But at that age, even being so dimly aware of what was going on, I was just like, no, I'm just going to play Sonic now.
Yeah.
No thoughts, no feelings, just Sonic.
That's all I want to do.
I remembered the level select cheat. No one can touch me. I'm fine. Do you know what I mean? I just created this little bubble for myself. It's weird.
Yeah, I remember Mum, when we found out that my granddad had had a stroke, and my dad went up to the hospital to see him. My mum just bollocks me. She was like, how can you sit and play video games through this? And I was playing Civilization and then she don't realise it at the time, but you look back and go, oh, that was me just putting on like a cloak or something. Do you know what I mean? That was 100%. Me sort of hiding. Yeah. And you go, oh shit, I was only young.
It's really because I even so my uncle, technically not uncle, but de facto uncle on news side. So he's just been diagnosed with cancer, and he's starting chemo soon. And it probably sounds really ridiculous, but because I've heard so many stories about people who've got through chemo by playing video games just to take their mind off how shit they feel. Part of me thinks because he doesn't play video games, right? Part of me is like, is that something I should suggest, or is that going to come off really insensitive and weird? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's something for them to to figure out. Yeah. I think I think it's weird. It's so hard to even suggest anything because you will never understand what
exactly
it's like going through it until you go through it yourself, isn't it? It's crazy.
It is.
But anyway, thoughts are with you, Chris. Hope you're okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And anyone else out there that's suffering, because there's a lot of us, isn't there? Let's face it, there's a lot of us.
Yeah, even without that connection, the Lemon Mina stories absolutely broke me too. So, my God. Anyway, thank you for the feedback. Go to tcgs.co/dear-tcgs. Leave your feedback.
Time for the news. James Farley.
Yeah, so Ubisoft had a financial update this week, and it didn't go so well. They've had quite disappointing figures, apparently. Well, I was trying to think, before you get into this, I was thinking of their recent games. Well,
they haven't had like
which
a banger
ones have
recently, have they? Yeah, I mean, the last year, it was 2 years ago. Was that Extraction, Rainbow Six Extraction? Far Cry, I know, was a big flop for them compared to what Far Cry games used to put in. So yeah, I was wondering how quiet they could be for how long. Go on, James.
I mean, Mario and Rabbids and Just Dance didn't sell as well as they'd hoped. Apparently, they missed targets.
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously last week we were saying, "I bet it sold really well." Blah blah blah. And what's interesting about this is that we don't actually get figures. It says it was weaker than expected. I know, and maybe it says in this piece, but the previous Rabbids game sold 10 million, and maybe they thought it will sell 20 or 30, but actually it just sold 10 again, or. So we don't actually know how much it sold, but because Ubisoft have a history of saying their games, don't quite meet ridiculous sales targets and then cause them a failure, even though they sold incredibly well, really. But I would love to know how much it sold.
See, I do think that maybe, I mean, the first Mario and Rabbids, I do kind of feel that might have sold quite well because of when it came out and because it was very early in the Switch's life. And
that's true.
I'm not saying there was nothing out at that stage, but there was certainly less choice than there is now, of
Plus,
things to go for.
It was such a completely out of left field thing, wasn't it? Like, there's this collaboration with Mario and Rabbids, and also it's like a really interesting light sort of XCOM style tactical game, and everyone's like, what the this is made up, surely this is like some weird randomly generated game concept. So there was a lot of attention. Whereas for the sequel just being like, it's that again. Okay. Like it's not the same, is it?
And then also, as I said, Just Dance didn't sell as well because I know that's another one of their releases that every year I think they're just kind of expecting that's going to do brilliantly, but apparently it hasn't done so well. But then also Skull and Bones has been delayed again. And that's going to come out in their next fiscal year, which is April 2023 to March 2024. So, but they said it's probably going to be early in that that fiscal year. And they've also cancelled 3 other unannounced games as well that are not coming out, and they're planning to make 200 million euros in cuts over the next 2 years through what they're calling targeted restructuring, divesting non-core assets, and natural attrition. So I don't know if that. I don't know how what the plan is for that. But they
doesn't sound good though, does it?
No, it doesn't. They've also. I mean, this is what they're planning to release. They've got on the what's coming out soon. Well, not soon, but in over the next year, they've got Assassin's Creed Mirage. So another one of those.
They always do quite well, right?
And they've also got an Avatar game coming as well, which is Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora.
I can't believe that was a massive success at the box office, wasn't it? That
the film,
Avatar film.
Was it big?
I mean, it's now coming up to like 5th or 6th of all-time movie.
Yeah, how is that? It's mad, isn't it? I showed the trailer to the first game to Harry at the weekend because it was on Disney Plus now, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, Avatar, the first
film. You mean?
Yeah, the first film. Yeah, and he just went, "That looks awful," and I was like, "Yeah, it kind of was." I think. I
See,
I
really went to see
it's
it.
bloody expensive. So
yeah.
I nearly went to see it at Christmas, and I've got nothing against it whatsoever. I wasn't really excited to see it, but I thought, I don't mind going to see it. But then I saw that the runtime was like really, really long.
So
it was
3 hours,
but it doesn't feel that long.
Leave off, James. You're a fucking Marvel fan. Shut the fuck up.
Well, exactly. But I didn't want to go through that again.
Yeah, it's a 3-hour movie, but it honestly didn't drag at all. And I really liked it, the first one. I saw it like 3 times at cinema.
Did you?
And I mean, that was mostly because different friends are going. I was like, I'll go again. I'll see it again. And somehow turned out I saw it 3 times. And I watched this, and I failed on the day. I was like busy, and I failed to watch like a recap. And I was like, I better watch it. It's been like 10 or 12 years, isn't it, since the previous one? Actually, no, it's not that long. Anyway, it's a fair few years. And I failed to watch the recap. So the first 20 minutes is new, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck's happening? This looks exactly the same as the previous one. I've really made a huge mistake here. But honestly, it turns it around, and actually, I thought it was excellent.
I've heard it's proper good.
I thought you were going to say that. Oh, it sounds like a God of War then.
Ragnarök. Yeah. I was like, this is the same as before. But no, I thought it was really good, and I probably would happily watch it again. I watched it in 3D. It was whatever, what it is. But no. Good, and I'm surprised that film was out. The game is out now, but I guess it's going to say the next one.
Coming. Yeah,
that's the fuck up. Is that obviously they've failed to, and and for years we moaned about game/movie tie-ins being shit because they've obviously rushed something out to meet the release of the film. but also it's not hard. Sorry, it's hard not to look at that delay and think, yeah, we've fucked that up.
Yeah, you do wonder why you would release a game based around a film way after the film come out. I can't.
Well,
maybe
who would do that?
GoldenEye.
Who would do that?
Because what fascinated me, because how much do we know about this Avatar game? Because I remember, obviously they've done one before, right? And it was such a disappointment because the film, say what you want about it, but at least showed you a world that we like, holy shit, I'd love to explore that. And then the game was a linear shooter, basically. So
God, that fucking game! I would never forget. Were you with me, Matt, when we played that? You were, weren't you? It was at an EGX or something. Someone grabbed us and said, "Play Avatar."
I don't remember.
We played it and we went, "It is fucking appalling. This is so bad."
The good thing is that there's another 17 Avatar movies in development, so this will probably line up with the next one.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, if they just sit on it for a bit longer.
Yeah.
So this game doesn't reflect the movies, so it's
it's right. It's separate. Okay.
Do you remember when they tried to do when the Matrix tried to do? Oh no, this is between the films. This adds anything. Like if you're going to see the game, if you're going to see the last film,
that was
Enter the Matrix.
I remember the cars in that and how they had hexagonal wheels.
just like real cars.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that is
looking good.
On paper. That's an interesting thing to do, right? Be like, oh yeah, here's a game that's got characters from the film, but it's the bits that you don't see in the film. Fine. But yeah, I gather it wasn't great.
Yeah, it wasn't.
There was quite a lot of hype for that because it was also made by Shiny, wasn't it? Who had just done MDK.
Shiny.
And
this was well after MDK.
Was it?
MDK's fucking good, man.
That's what I'm saying.
MDK 2 was the one, wasn't it, that I really liked, I think.
Did you?
Well, I'm asking you. It's only in my brain.
I didn't realise anyone liked MDK 2. I thought it was...
Really?
Yeah.
I had it on PC and I was quite young, so...
Are you sure it wasn't the first one?
16. It might be the first one.
Yeah, the second one wasn't great. Did you were you switching characters? Were you playing as the Doctor and the dog and stuff?
I can't remember. I would have been... When did the first one come out?
I mean, I can look it up.
I'm looking it up now.
1997.
I would have been 13, mate. I don't remember anything past the age of 12 or whatever. I don't even know what that means. Yes, it was. I'm seeing the front cover of MDK. It was that version. It was that one that I played.
Good.
Yeah.
So anyway, the correct game.
Yes.
Well done.
So other than Avatar, what else?
Aside from Avatar, they've also got a yet to be announced premium game, including a large... Okay, this is a direct quote.
Is this an actual quote?
This is an actual quote. It says, other yet-to-be-announced premium games, including a large one, as well as promising free-to-play titles from some of our biggest brands.
Including
we're making this new game. Oh, it's big.
It's a large one.
Fucking massive.
I love it when you read these stuff and it reads like someone's doing this in a meeting.
Yeah.
We've got what have we got next year? We've got a large game. It's a large one. That's
including a large one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in addition to that, in addition to the large one, they Yves Guillemot has written to employees about what's happened with this, and Kotaku has seen the letter. And I thought I'd just read you a selective quote from this, which is a bit mean, obviously, because it is selective, but it's quite interesting. He said, Today, more than ever, I need your full energy and commitment to ensure we get back on the path to success. I'm also asking that each of you be especially careful and strategic with your spending and initiatives to ensure we're being as efficient and lean as possible. The ball is in your court to deliver this lineup on time and at the expected level of quality and show everyone what we are capable of achieving. Now, I have to say, that's not like an entire quote, like all in one thing. This is like several quotes brought together, but you get the picture.
Doesn't feel like...
Even then, saying the ball's in your court means if it goes wrong, it's your fault.
I was going to say,
mine.
it doesn't feel like leading from the front, does it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it certainly doesn't.
Okay, then the final quote, he said, We expect our strategy to build long-lasting live games and transform our biggest brands into truly global phenomenon with multiple offerings across platforms and business models to ultimately generate significant value creation with strong top-line and operating income growth over the next coming years. Yeah, there you go.
So we know they're doing that with Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
But what, I mean, like, could there be a Rainbow Six live service game? I mean...
Is that not what Siege is, though?
But this is the thing,
yeah,
because...
I guess
they're definitely working on a Siege 2, I reckon.
Yeah.
But this is what's weird
relaunching that
because
series.
GamesIndustry.biz, like they were like in their article when they talked about this, they sort of reckon that this is suffering because they don't have a live services game. But I thought like The Division, that was supposed to be like a live services game, right?
Yeah, but no one played it.
To be
I know
fair,
no one
the
played it.
quote from Chris String is that it doesn't have a live service game of any significance. So
Yeah.
that's a bit. that's
Yeah,
a
I
lot
mean,
of work.
and please don't message me saying, "Oh, actually, millions of people play." Yeah, they did play it, but they're not playing it anymore, and that's not good for a live service game. Do you know what I mean? That was so weird. The Division 2 was so weird. That game.
It was because do
bizarre.
you remember we played that demo at EGX and we were like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
this
we
is
were
we were
buzzing
in."
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the game came out, and I was like, nah, "Sorry."
I just never forget because it was after Charlie was born.
yeah.
And everyone was playing it, and I've never played a game that sent me to sleep quicker. Like genuine, like literally, I would turn it on, and within 10 minutes, I'd hear in my head, "Days asleep again." My character's like running into the wall. And I sort of, sorry about
I
that.
used to get that with Destiny. That was bad when I was.
I mean, it was
born.
definitely. I mean, I played both of those games, like, and the second one I think was worse. I think than the
Really?
first, which was a
I
shame.
don't know if it was worse. It just wasn't better enough.
Mm.
It was like the same, I thought.
It's the same,
but okay.
not better. But yeah, I mean, obviously everyone wants to GTA money or Fortnite, but Sony are clearly chasing a live service game with their acquisition of Bungie and their plan to release 10 or so in the next few years.
This is what I
Ubisoft want
don't
it.
get.
They all want this live service thing, and yet if you obviously you can look at the huge hits like Fortnite, etc., and GTA Online, but like from where I'm standing, we also seem to see a lot of live service games that come and fail and struggle. Even like Destiny has failed. And I haven't seen a financial, so I assume it's done incredibly well. But everything feels like there's a lot of times where it's like, oh, changes this and that's not good enough.
It's
and
been
DLC,
it's been a rocky road.
Yeah, rocky
getting
one.
there,
And
hasn't
yet
it?
that's still lauded as, hey, look at this live service game on console. But
Yeah.
it's going to be fascinating to see all these other companies try and find their own Destiny, their own GTA Online, and it's going to be interesting.
Because sorry, go on.
Just
James.
last week, we were talking about Square Enix and how they've tried like repeatedly over the last year to try and launch these live service games that have all failed and haven't really worked out.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously, big budget games have been like very hit driven for a long time, in that one massive success will pay for like 10 failures. But it's just so much more obvious with live service ones, isn't it? Because you get that article saying, "Yeah, this one's dead now." Right, and there is that definite like fucking nail in the
Turning
coffin.
it off, yeah.
Like, so actually, probably a lot of trying a lot of these and some of them failing is probably pretty standard. Like, it's probably business as usual. Same as like so like we mentioned, there's 3 unannounced games have been cancelled. Sounds bad. It's probably pretty standard practice. Like, there'll be tons of stuff that gets cancelled that we hear nothing about. And because that's how that's how you get shit games, when like a publisher just goes like, "No, you've got to fucking finish this." No matter that ability to say, "No, this is not working, we need to cancel it," is how you filter these things out and hopefully only release decent games. I mean, this is what's worrying about Skull and Bones as well, right? Because it's been delayed so many times. We knew from, I can't remember when it came out. Was it sometime last year that it sort of came out? They've taken money from like the Singapore government.
Yeah.
And that's why they have to release it.
Yeah.
And these constant delays suggest to me that, like, actually, this is something they would have cancelled if it wasn't for the fact they have to bring it out for the money they took. Yeah. So
I guess this also just makes Sony's acquisition of Bungie just make more and more sense. Everyone's chasing this, and Sony why are we going to struggle and make and cancel 10 games? Let's get in the people that have years and years of experience with this and go from there. So. Yes, that makes massive sense. If everyone is now trying to chase their own live service, darling, like the others that have.
I'll tell you what hasn't been cancelled though is Beyond Good and Evil, because apparently they said today that that's still going ahead.
Told you, it's getting revealed this year. I'm telling you,
little face. All right, okay. Next
story is that so Forza Horizon 5 and Playground Games. Some of the team members have broken away now from Playground Games, and they formed their own studio.
We have friends over at that studio and friends that have moved on to this new one. So that's pretty excited seeing them on the front page of all the newspapers, news websites.
It's on the front of the local Guardian.
Hard off the press.
Yeah. So what were they saying about it then? What's the big idea?
So they formed. So it's called Maverick Games. This is the name of the studio, and they're working on a new premium open world game for consoles and PC. and that's
Nice one.
all the details.
So they haven't said it's not driving, but they haven't said that it is. Which fine. Happy to see what else they can do.
We'll allow it.
We'll let you off. Exciting news. It was interesting, reading the statement. Was it a statement / interview from Mike Brown, who's the creative director on Forza Horizon 5, and he was. There was no suggestion that they weren't happy at Playground, but there's a lot of talk of how can we do things differently. Which was interesting.
And you must get to the point where their next project is going to be another Horizon game. Oh, it's not. Well, I don't know. They're still working on Fable over there. I don't know.
I mean, that's gone awfully quiet, hasn't it?
It has, isn't it? But what I will say is that this is exciting.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're clearly so much talent in that studio because we've said it time and time again. Those Forza games, they're piss taking. Even beyond the amount of money that's chucked at them, which I'm sure helps incredibly towards the development of that game. But there's bits in that where you're like, this isn't even dads of money. This is just, oh my God, you know what you're doing.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything feels right and everything feels easy to put together.
Yeah, I think I've said this before, but I occasionally I fancy loading up Forza Horizon 5, and then if I find that for some reason it's not currently installed on my Xbox, I'm just like, who the fuck do I think I am? Not having that game installed.
What Sean fucked up.
Well, it's the first, when we got the new telly, it was the first thing that I wanted to look at.
Oh God, yeah.
And when I did, I was not disappointed. I was instantly like, "Oh my God, this just looks ridiculous." What a game.
We've not heard there's not been any announcement for a second DLC pack for that, has there?
There's not, is there? I'm assuming that was it. Actually, they were only going for one this time.
Yeah, maybe.
Because we were just assuming that they were going for two.
Unless
they've been told to space it out a bit, because they've always done it.
Microsoft's next thing is motorsport, isn't it? That's the next.
That's true. Yeah.
Focusing on that.
But yeah, no, good luck, Maverick Games. I'm looking forward to seeing what you've got for us.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Looking forward to get the exclusive.
Looking forward to James being a voice actor on the game. Right, okay.
Oh my God.
Next story is
yeah, sure. Imagine.
Xbox consoles are soon going to be carbon aware. So there's
what does that mean?
So there's a new update that's coming, which is supposed to reduce the carbon footprint by optimizing updates and download times to when renewable energy in local areas, can be used more effectively.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what this is because Microsoft claimed that every 2 Xbox consoles that are switched to shutdown mode rather than sleep mode save the equivalent of 1 tree planted and grown for a decade. So this is the push for this. And so what they're going to do is they're going to add a further energy.
Has any of you turned that on?
Yeah.
I've it on shutdown.
When you turn yours off, it shuts off completely.
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
But it can still download stuff in the background, but it's just even lower power than standard one.
Yeah, it seems to be.
I think I tried it once and it didn't download.
I was going to say,
it
is like touch and go as to what it downloads. I've never seen a system update. That's never been a thing. Occasionally, I'll go to play a game and it's like, sorry, give us a minute. But
they're also adding another setting called active hours setting, which is where this is for using the sleep option, but where you can adjust the console's active hours so that it'll boot more quickly at certain times of the day and will be available for remote working and stuff like that. So you could set it so that it's I don't know, during the day and then at night it just goes off. During that time.
But I don't like the boot time because they've sped up the boot time from shutdown so much.
Massively,
This is why I don't care about using the sleep thing because it boots up really quick anyway.
Yeah, by the time my TV and my amplifier have both turned on, it's already booted. I still never see the actual startup animation and stuff.
Yeah, I need
the boot I never care about.
I need to get that.
I just need to know that I can use the Xbox Game Pass app and other stuff to download games, and they download, and that's all I need to know. That the booting
that's
doesn't
always a
leave
brilliant thing, isn't it? That Microsoft let you download any game to the console, whether you own it or not. Yeah. It doesn't have to be Game Pass. Any game can be downloaded to the console, and that makes. I know it sounds stupid, but the amount of times where you're waiting for a code or something like that, even you say waiting for a code, I don't mean review code. Sometimes you'll order a game from Shop 2 and it takes until midday for the code to come through. So you might as well download it overnight, and then when the code comes through, you can put it in and then play it straight away. Like it's, I love that stuff. It's really good.
Useful.
But yeah, so the new update is going to make like the switch like automatic for people as well. So you're like, if you want to change it back, you'll have to go back into settings and change it to sleep mode and all that kind of thing.
So this is so say that again. So this is going to set the default so that it turns off.
Yeah, to shut down. Yeah, instead.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. And that's going to actively change everyone's Xbox.
I was going to say so I think it's going to switch everyone's Xbox. Yeah,
that's great. That's really good.
That is good. Yeah. I wonder how many people notice.
See, this is I think not many.
Bet less than you think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
Okay, next story. This is going on from what we talked about last week, because we talked about High on Life, the game that came out.
Yes.
And it turns out that Justin Roiland, who's the creator of Rick and Morty and was involved obviously in High on Life, has been charged with domestic violence. And this is in relation to an incident in 2020. And so he's been charged with this, and it's now going into pre-trial, but there's no date set. But he's also got like a protective order against him as well from October 2020 that lasts until this year.
What do you mean protective order lasts till this year?
Well, he's got
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so this is a protective order that prevents him from harassing, threatening, surveilling.
Right. I see. Yeah. Right, okay. Yeah,
so
I thought when you said protective order, I thought you meant like from the media. Or
no.
Because why have we not heard about it?
Well, it is very strange, isn't it? Like how much of this is still under wraps, and I don't know if that means that like the plaintiff has really good lawyers or Justin Roiland has really good lawyers.
Well, you'd imagine Justin Roiland's he must have made a lot of money. Rick and Morty.
It's been sealed. Like at the moment, most of the documents related to this are sealed, and so there's not a huge amount of detail about this, apart from the fact that that it was an anonymous person who made this complaint. Who it was somebody that he was dating at the time, and but now, as I said, it's going to court.
Yeah. Not a huge.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it could be that, but that restriction from the media could be put in place to protect the victim as well.
Yes, exactly.
Alleged victim.
Yeah, for sure.
So I get it. It's but as you said, it's relevant to us because High on Life come out like last month, and it's it certainly made me not want to carry on playing it. Do you know what I mean? Even though there's a court case to go through, there's everything, it's still, maybe that's the problem with me. But I'm sitting there and thinking, I don't really want to, just makes everything shit now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just important to talk, to get a story out there, because obviously, I think both, a couple of you at least said, the game was good and fine, but also it's important to cover this as well, just to, this is something a lot of people talking about.
I think that's irrelevant. What we thought of the game a week ago before this news broke is irrelevant to what this news story is. I'm not going to turn around and say, oh no, actually I hated it because I didn't. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying that. I'm just showing all sides of it, basically, I think.
Yeah, and we said before, when game developers have been outed as abusers or whatever, like they didn't single-handedly make the games. Like it's not. I mean, similar. Like, I'm never going to play High on Life, but that doesn't mean like you're a bad person for having enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely not.
And again, it's important to stress here that there's a court case to go through. So it's kind of hard to comment on the actual details that's been released already and have a discussion around it because
there are so few details that have been released. There's not a huge amount,
isn't it? It's difficult, but and I wouldn't really want to either because. Just not nice.
No.
Cool. Next story.
Would you like to hear about Google Stadia for the last time potentially?
Is it the last time?
It's got a happy ending.
James is going to talk about Google Stadia all the time.
No, there's a happy ending. There's a happy ending to this. Okay, I thought I'd just. Oh yeah. So
okay, my ears are pricked up.
So one of the things that people complained about with the whole Stadia thing with the controllers was that, once the service has been shut down, those controllers will be useless. But it's great because Google have released a self-service tool so that now you can update the controller so that it will just work with regular Bluetooth, which means then you can use it just with other platforms and stuff like that. So
other platforms, you just mean PC and Mac.
Basically, yeah. So they don't become
I guess
like
your phone and...
Yeah. Which is nice, and they've also released Worm Game, which was a game that was supposed to be to test whether Stadia worked, and they said it came to Stadia before Stadia came to the world, and they've released it now as it's like the first game and the last game to come out on it.
Fuck you to everyone involved.
Basically,
who can play Worm Game? Because I'm thinking a Worm Game stream. I don't know nothing about
Worm
it apart from the actual Worm Game.
We've only got 2 days left because in fact, actually, no, it'll be too late by the time you hear this because the official time for the shutdown of Google Stadia has been announced now, and it's 11:59 Pacific time on January the 18th.
Oh my god!
And then it's gone.
Has anyone got one of those pads?
No, I'm now really annoyed that I didn't get one. You know when they had that mad
Why?
deal?
The fire sale.
Because it's a really nice controller. And
is it a really nice
it's lovely.
right.
But the caveat was I basically only works with Stadia stuff. Whereas now it's that would have been just a really nice.
How much were they selling them for? Do you
this
know?
is it. 'Cause
it's not like the Steam ones that they were selling for 70p.
Well, it wasn't far off, wasn't it?
Really?
It wasn't last Christmas. Christmas before, I think you could get. So it was like a Stadia and like a 4K Chromecast for like 20 quid or something.
Yeah, Chromecast Ultra as well.
Yeah.
Right,
so I wish I'd done that.
What I want, Sean, a little bit of homework potentially.
Oh, God.
Could you find your ex-Stadia buddies
Oh yeah.
and find out what their
Meet up with
thoughts
them
are
again.
on the situation?
It would be
Sean,
too.
can you interview them?
I mean,
Yeah.
well, no, because I only see him like when we're dropping off at school in the morning. It'd be really weird to just be like, "Oh, mate, I'm really, really sorry about Stadia.
Sorry to hear.
I know you were one of the 10 believers."
Oh my god,
The
you should
news.
turn up with flowers or wear
You just turn up and you go, let's talk Stadia.
Yeah.
Is there some sort of ceremony? Is there what we
He
do?
might not. He might not want the controllers anymore because he got several. He had several controllers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
You
you
said
said
I'm
any controllers?
using them because I need got a Steam Deck in the living room and need a control for.
you should go around tomorrow and say, "Can we play Worm Game?"
You might think it's a euphemism
what?
to go.
Yeah.
A bit weird.
I'd like to play the Worm Game now.
Okay, that's Google.
But yeah, so it's a happy ending, I think. It's a happy
Is it?
ending.
I
Yeah.
don't think it is for all the people that work there, mate.
No, but
I mean,
controllers, something like that,
the
was
news
he?
about the controller stuff is that's good
Yeah.
news for a lot of people.
and the
but
people that work there, I mean, Google said they were going to redeploy them to other areas, so,
Okay, and we all believe that.
people
Well,
believe
Go
that,
on.
and they'll all be really happy with that. I'm
it's,
sure.
it's a happy ending.
Some of them went off to live on a farm.
Okay. Didn't expect you to do that. So anyway, the last bit of news is that the Xbox and Bethesda showcase has been confirmed. Like, this is happening. And this is happening on the 25th of January at 8 p.m. UK time. So we know what they're showing. They're going to be showing The Elder Scrolls Online. Like something to do with that. Forza Motorsport, although including gameplay. Minecraft Legends and also Redfall will be shown.
Minecraft Legends, which one's that?
That's the one we played, isn't it? Hang on, isn't that? It's not.
No,
it's
it's not
Dungeons.
Minecraft Dungeons. This is the other one that
one?
looks a bit like that, but it's it says it a big PvE
Right.
multiplayer experience. I mean, it's hard to determine when it first got announced. We're like, what kind of game is this? But it looks a lot. It's massive in scope, but at least it
So
looks
that's
way
it.
bigger.
They're not going to show anything else.
No, Starfield is not happening at this event.
We know
but
Starfield's
they're going to
not
do
gonna be
another
there.
event for that, apparently.
But they're
Yeah,
not doing any
standalone.
reveal trailers at this thing.
Not as far as we know.
What do you mean?
Well, no, these are the things that have been confirmed, but we don't
Right.
know.
Okay. So it could still very much be
It's possible. Yeah.
those games and then a bunch of reveal trailers.
I fully expect we'll get at least one more thing. I guarantee it won't be those 4. I bet there'll be a little surprise. It's bound
New
to be.
Xbox.
I hope that what we're going to get is just before this, we're going to get the Xbox account doing those eyes things, for like oh look, this is going to be something. They're going to show something, and it's just these things. I think that'd be great.
We'll see. We're doing a talks over of that, are we?
Yeah, 100%.
We will, yeah.
We're going to do talks over of that. I mean, I'm really excited to see more of Redfall. I feel like having a stream like this with 4 games and one of them is The Elder Scrolls Online. It's not. I mean, I don't know. Is The Elder Scrolls Online secretly massive? Because
I bet it probably is.
It
It's
must
one of the games
be,
no
right?
one talks about. It's probably got 5 million subscribers.
yeah, because I feel
Do
like
you know what they're going to be showing for it, Sean?
go on.
they're showing a major chapter update and another new feature.
I bloody love new features, so one of those would be fantastic. Thank you.
Big fan of that.
It's just weird. Like, obviously, I'm not a big MMO guy. We should have had Sarah on for this one. To be honest, she'd be right at home. But like so, for example, like Sarah plays like Final Fantasy 14. She plays World of Warcraft. Those are the only two MMOs that I still hear people talk about in terms of actually playing them. I don't know anyone who plays the Elder Scrolls Online.
I'm sure they are though, because like Fallout 76, that has got an audience now.
That quietly turned it around, didn't it?
So maybe this also quietly has like a sizable audience as well.
I mean, it's on Game Pass as well. Obviously, that's big. Like being able to.
You're saying, sure, we all join a guild and play it ESO and play it every day, every night and every day for a month.
Would be funny, wouldn't it?
Maybe
ESO
MG.
We'll fuck off the heists. The lads are going on a jaunt in I can't remember what any of the places are called. Morrowind.
Yeah.
Every week.
Everywhere is that one? No.
Oh, Elsewhere. Yeah.
Elsewhere. That's what
but
I
it's
was
spelled
close.
like in a weird way.
Yeah.
Every week, what you've been playing just ends up being Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, well, we've
all
all,
of us.
yeah.
Yes, let's do it. The Elder Scrolls cast. One thing this blog post on the Xbox website doesn't say is that this is a whole new way we're going to show games. Obviously, it's got a new name. The rumored name was confirmed. Developer _direct. It doesn't say, hey, this is like a new way of doing it. It doesn't say it's an intimate way. So I'll be very interested to see how long this show lasts and if it is indeed a nicely cut down, sensible time frame.
Yeah, like
they've got to do something, haven't they? They've never been able to nail this. Sony seems to have got their shit together with their stuff. Nintendo led the way with it. Microsoft have never nailed it.
I don't understand this either, because why don't they just copy the other ones? Because that's what this is.
This may well be it.
When Microsoft in the past have been amazing at like your big E3 presentations and stuff, where they're just like, here's an hour of games.
Yeah.
Like they nailed that, and yet the other sort of satellite streams have never been quite the same. So,
no.
I mean, look, 4 games. I mean, surely they won't. I mean, I think this will be a maximum of an hour. Even that feels like too long. Maybe like 10 minutes each? 15 minutes
maybe.
each?
I can't wait. I bet they announce it's 2 hours long.
I'm really intrigued because we haven't seen a lot of Redfall, and that's out in 3 months?
True. We also haven't seen a lot of Elder Scrolls
There's still a lot
either.
that they could show us in 3 months, I think.
I suppose. Sorry, James, what were you...
Yeah.
I said we also haven't seen a lot of Elder Scrolls Online either, so maybe there could be...
I'd like to keep it that way, to be honest, James.
Maybe I'll download it.
Right, is it?
Because
is that it for the news?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
I'm gonna play Elder Scrolls Online for next week.
Yes.
Okay, what you've been playing this week then, I would like to start with James with God of War Ragnarok, because you text me to tell me that you have finished God of War Ragnarok.
We know he's fucking finised it. It's public knowledge.
The whole world knows that.
Because you posted it all over
YouTube.com knows that.
No spoilers, James, but what did you think of the game?
I thought it was excellent. Yeah. I absolutely love this game.
Isn't it?
And it's funny because, I said to you in the text I sent you, it's like, I'm not sure if it's like Game of the Year, really, but I think I would have pushed harder for it if I'd have finished it. Because
I think there was no clear Game of the Year last year.
Yeah.
I don't think it was, and I would agree that I wouldn't say that God of War was a clear Game of the Year last year.
No way.
It should have got fucking further than it did.
I would say it's very well written, I would say. And it has twists and stuff in it that I genuinely did not see coming at all. That really change things, like in an enormous way, but in a very cool way where you're like, oh, it really is that sort of like, oh shit, that's a really big deal. And that doesn't happen very often, I don't feel like, in games. It's so well crafted, this story, that you can be genuinely shocked by it, which is pretty cool. But also extremely touching in places as well.
Massively.
And it's funny because I don't know why, but I just kind of get the feeling sometimes people sort of shit on these games, not specifically God of War, but the big AAA games often. It's always this idea of there's they're not artistic enough, they're not whatever.
What are you talking about? Everyone loves them. Who's shitting on them?
They don't. Well, yeah, for some things, I'm not sure. There's always, I think there's...
I'm kind of with Sean there. I think AAA games do get a lot of...
No, they do, but there is also a lot of... There's a lot of sneering as well, though, from certain parts of the games.
Your Call of Duties and stuff, which I think is partly justified. I don't think I don't think the big sort of first party Sony stuff gets that treatment. Maybe Horizon.
I think they do though, because people are just like, they're all the same. Oh, I don't
all the
another...
same cookie cutter. Oh, it's another it's another Sony first party third person adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Sony are not helping themselves massively because, all right, God of War is a bit of an outlier, but there does seem to be a formula to their games that spreads across, and it benefits from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you see stuff from God of War that I've seen in Uncharted, for example, and I think, oh, okay, or The Last of Us, and you think. And all right, okay, they're different studios or whatever, but you can see inspirations from within Sony's sort of network of developers, right? And you see the good sides of that, but you see the bad sides of it too. You know, you see, especially where it doesn't work quite well. So in my opinion, Horizon Forbidden West, they sort of doubled down on the chatter, but when you haven't got a character who's as interesting as Kratos or as charismatic as Nathan Drake, it becomes, oh, shut up. Do you know what I mean?
But that's the thing, but like Horizon, like that goes far closer to like the sort of the Ubisoft like open world model.
It does,
than any
for sure.
of the like because God of War isn't like that really at all. Like it's
no,
not.
No, but they have done games like we've just had what was the samurai game?
It was Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima. You had the zombie one. The
Days Gone.
Yeah.
Days Gone. So they were going through a phase of like pumping out these open world games. So yeah, I don't think they particularly help themselves. I don't think it's really sneering, and I think God of War is the outlier here because that first game was so universally praised, and rightly so, because it was brilliant. It felt so fresh and interesting, and for me, God of War Ragnarok is not so much about the gameplay. The puzzles, some of the puzzles are just slow, and why am I doing this? Why is Kratos, God of War, chucking his axe at a pink rock so it bounces off something and hits something? Do you know what I mean?
There's a few too many.
Why doesn't he just smash
puzzles?
the shit out of it? And they're crawling through cracks and stuff. But the story, I think, in Ragnarok is really what pushes you through, like, and the relationships along the way. I mean, as I've said before, and I've alluded to many times, when you've got strong relationships that break up and then don't rectify themselves by the end, you go, oh, that's way more powerful than anything else a normal game would do.
Yeah.
Like, there's a particular relationship that feels like I'm carrying it on my shoulders, like, for a good long time after completing that game. And I think about it a lot. And I think, could you imagine if they'd have made up at the end?
Yeah,
because that would have just ruined
it.
That
really would have. Although
of...
it's funny because I've been like watching some videos and people's reactions to stuff and all that, and there's loads of people who are just like, oh, I really wish that they'd like that things could have worked out and all that, and it's like I get that, but I don't think I'm glad that they didn't, because I'm quite. This felt more raw and more sort of real, I feel, to me.
Yeah,
massively.
I mean, I wanted them to make up, obviously, but
it's more impactful that they didn't. For sure. James, have you gone and played Dave, have you told him about the kind of missions you can do afterwards to get like the real ending? Done that stuff. Yeah. That stuff was awesome as well.
See, that's
but I think
in
terms of the right.
Sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
No, I was just in terms of the writing. I think like the relationship between it's just amazing. It's just so tender between like Kratos and son. It's just amazing. Sorry, go ahead.
But then you see the other thing I think this game does better than most others I've ever played is the post-game content stuff, in the sense that the world has changed after what's happened at the end of this, and that's reflected in what's going on in the world, like in your interactions you have with other people. It's not like the Breath of the Wild kind of thing where it's just like, oh, okay, just go back to before again.
Exactly.
It's great. It's so good, that is. I really like that. And
really good. I think I read an interview with one of the directors or things saying, they wanted to reward players who had gone through it with some really cool post-game stuff. And I mean, I generally don't bother with post-game stuff in these kinds of games. When someone's like, oh, you've got to do this to get this ending, and you should do this, and hey, if you go there, you can see that or meet this. And I was like, oh, wow, this is awesome. I mean, there's still like a couple, maybe one or two that someone said, you've got to do that, and I haven't got around to it yet, but it's really cool that there are rewards.
Game did the same thing. The first time I remember a game doing that and it being that impactful was the first Red Dead Redemption. Because if you remember, after that ending, Oh god, that was so good when you went by the river. I could spoil it now, sort of.
God, yeah.
But you go by the river as Marsden's son, Jack, is it? I think. And it's like it's such a natural thing to do. I think there might be a marker on it on the map or a question mark or something. And you go there and you realise who it is and you finish the story properly, and then you get that sort of splash screen Red Dead Redemption. You go, there's the redemption. Like that is so perfect. And then they managed to top that with Red Dead Redemption 2. That whole stuff, that whole fucking stuff at the end of Red Dead Redemption 2. Oh, what a wonderful...
easy to forget about
wonderful
that,
game.
isn't it? Like when you think about your bulk of your time with with Red Dead Redemption 2, it's like that bit is it's longer than you think it's going to be, but it's still relatively like a footnote because that's like such a big game. And it's like, oh yeah, shit, that was absolutely unbelievable the way that played out.
The house building bit, Sean.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Look, I'm sorry if this is a spoiler for Red Dead Redemption fans. I think we've got enough of a gap. But to think the way, like we said it on the show at the time, but a game that was a prequel that made the original game better based on that, like what you've learned during that prequel. And that bit at the end where you're playing as John Marsden and you're building the house that you're starting at the start of it's like, oh my God. And then I remember watching or either playing the first like couple of hours of Red Dead Redemption, the first one, and just going, they're talking about stuff that I did in 2. And I didn't realise it at the time, but they were talking about the train robbery that went wrong, or when they were in a certain part of the country or whatever. But yeah, that song, the song when they're playing when you're building the fucking house.
The fucking bit where you've been playing as John for a bit and you haven't really been getting into fights and stuff, but then you go to that other, is it like another farm that's been attacked or something? And the Red Dead Redemption 1 theme kicks in. Like, fuck, man. Proper goosebumps. Like, so good.
Yeah, it's just perfect. That game is so good.
And it's something that with Ragnarok, they do, like, to a much lesser extent, but where there's all these callbacks as well to the other game, which explains a lot of some things as well from that game, which I think is
it does.
Cool.
It does. I think its only misstep, Ragnarok's misstep, is misjudging how much of a connection needed to be made between the two games. I think what they wanted to do was spend the opening 3 to 4 hours bridging the two stories, and it didn't work. It felt like a slow extension of the last game, and I wanted the new game to start. And then, as I said, once you make it to the wall and that the story actually starts, you go, oh, okay, this is...
Yeah, because the first part is kind of like by the numbers, like we're just doing what we've already done. Like, pretty much. And it's but it's still fun. I mean, it's still fun. Like I enjoyed doing that. But then, it's
Did
when
you knock it down?
Say again?
Did you knock the difficulty down one?
Yes, I did. I knocked the difficulty down,
It was
Everyone I've
way
spoken
better.
to has enjoyed it way more by knocking it down one notch. I wonder why they felt the need to make it that challenging. As I said, for me, it wasn't so much the challenge, because that's fine. I just hate every battle was taking me far too long.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing.
It's not that you can't do it, it's just a pacing issue. Like
the pacing issue.
Yeah. Not every game, I think, needs to have that. Like, it doesn't all have to be like Elden Ring. Like, they really don't have to be like that. And that's why I really like that there's the option that it doesn't have to be like that, and you can focus more on story and stuff like that.
Yeah, the combat is still satisfying. Just knocked down a bit.
It's funny, isn't it? Like, when you're choosing difficulty settings in games, and there's always the like, pick this one if you just want to focus on the story. And I think for a long time that sort of felt like a kind of a euphemism, like, oh yeah, you just want to focus on the story. All right, mate, go on, put it on baby mode. Whereas now that, I don't know, that feels like that comment feels much more sincere than it used to. Like
mostly because there's a story worth following.
Exactly.
We lived through the 90s where attitude was the way to go. So games was like, you little baby, are you? Choose this mode. I was like, shut up, don't have a go at me, I'm tired.
Stick it on Hurt Me Plenty, please.
Do you remember Max Payne used to have a go at you for trying to quit as well?
Really?
I'm glad you enjoyed it, James. What game knocks it out of the game of the year?
I don't remember.
Citizen Sleeper, wasn't it?
Yeah, it should have got past Citizen Sleeper.
I'll tell you what, though. I hope that I'm expecting there's going to be... Obviously, there's going to be another one of these. But I'm hoping it's going to be sooner rather than later. And probably they're still going to follow, the same, like, where they are now. Like, as in, the environment they're in and everything. But I
don't know. I don't think it will. I think they've talked about this being... the end of the Norse series.
Okay. No.
See, I'll tell you what I really want, though.
There'll be one more.
I still want them to go back to Greece. Because the thing is about this is I want them to do, like, this level of production values and, like, storytelling, but with, like, the original story. I'd love them to redo that. I think that'd be brilliant.
They'll do one more, I reckon.
You think so?
I really do. Yeah, I think there's too many
loose
threads.
Yeah, there's
too
quite
many
I
loose
think
ends.
there's a lot of potential for side, for different games, with different characters in that same world. But yeah, a lot of people were saying, why not go to? I think there's just one comic where they're in Egypt, and they're like, I'll go to Egypt. That'd be a cool one to do. But given that they said, Corey Barlog said this is the end of the Norse games, but
go to the Isle of Wight.
There's a lot of potential for cool little things, and all the side characters are great. I would happily see other games with them as well.
Imagine that, climbing up the Needles.
Yeah, go to Sandown.
I just want to see Kratos as a young man again, like as a younger person, but like but with better storytelling.
Kratos.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. But with better storytelling, that's what I'm hoping. That could be achieved.
But isn't the whole point with God of War 2018 and now this one that it's him like reckoning with what an arsehole he was?
Yeah, but exactly. But you can still
so
tell a story of somebody being an arsehole and it can be engaging.
I suppose
you can do that.
That's true. You do that. Look at this podcast.
I mean, the Legacy of Kain games did that. We started as the first game was like you played as Kain, who's vampire and a bit of a prick by all accounts, and then you played as Raziel like centuries later, who was his like protege, and then Kain was the villain. But then by the end they sort of came together again, and it was like he is a villain but for sort of justified reasons. And it was really nicely done. I'd love another
I think if he did that, the payoff for the end of Ragnarok could be even stronger if people have gone through that journey.
Yeah,
I think that could be really interesting.
Yeah, because that was it. Like the Legacy of Kain games basically ended with Raziel just being like, "Yes, sorry, you're the boss. You're right." Like, but in a really satisfying way. Like it was really, really well done. Yeah.
Cool.
That's it. That's all I played this week.
God of War Ragnarok. Matt, what have you got for us this week, mate?
Well, there's still nothing else. I've been playing just a little bit of what I played before, Final Fantasy VII and Ring Fit Adventure. I'm so desperate for a new game, but I'm very excited for Fire Emblem Engage, which is out this week.
I think we're all...
oh, is it really?
Not all of us. I know Dave's not fussed, but the three of us are all suddenly fired up about Fire Emblem, aren't we?
Exactly. It's out this week. I'm going to pre-order it. I just want to play a new game, and the preview sounded really positive, so very excited about that. But now I've just been playing a little bit of Final Fantasy VII, a little bit of Ring Fit, but eager to get into something new, so excited for... I'm just going to pre-order it without reading reviews. I just want to play a new game, so hopefully it is as good as the previews sound.
Does sound really good,
yeah. It's incredibly dry.
Oh my God, yeah.
Talk about a dry January. Hey guys. It's a bit much.
Yeah, I don't know what's even out after Engage. So let's hope Engage is both good and a pretty decent sized game.
It'll be massive. It'll be loads. There'll be loads of extra stuff you can do in it as well. You'll be able to make that last 60 hours if you want.
Yeah, they're usually minimum 20, 30 hours at least. Just for main story stuff. So,
lovely stuff.
Yeah.
Enjoy that. Sure.
Lovely job.
I've been playing Escape Simulator.
Oh, yeah?
Not to be confused with Escape Academy, although they are basically the same thing. This is the one this has been on Steam for a while, couple of years maybe, and I've had it on Steam for a bit, but as I've said, historically not very good at sitting down at my desk and playing Steam things. However, I've got a Steam Deck now, and it turns out this is absolutely perfect on it. Because it's an escape room simulator, and they've there's loads of different themes. There's sci-fi levels, there's Wild West ones, steampunk ones, bunch of different ones, and then there's I haven't really delved into them yet, but there's shitloads of community made levels as well.
Awesome!
It's definitely because obviously So Escape Academy came out, sort of late last year. So the comparison is there now, whereas previously this was the only like escape room simulator. It's definitely like not as elegant as Escape Academy in some ways, in that in Escape Simulator, like every object in the room you can like pick up and look at, and 95% of them are meaningless. Like you'd be like, oh, there's some apples in a bowl. They're nothing. Like they just ignore the apples. Oh, there's a candle on a table. I can pick that up. Doesn't do anything. Oh, there's a bed here I can pick up the cushion.
That's interesting. Wouldn't you say that maybe they need that? Because isn't it a bit weird if like every single element is part of the puzzle? So
yes and no. Because so Escape Academy doesn't have most of that. Like usually, if you can interact with something, it's part of the part of one of the puzzles. I don't know. It's more that with Escape Simulator, you will find, unless you're sort of making sure that every time you pick something up and it's not relevant, you're making sure you press like the drop button instead. You'll find like halfway through doing a room, it's like, oh, my fucking inventory's full of like bits of paper and shit, and I need to just go like, and like every room has like a bin in it, right, where you can just put all the stuff in that you don't need.
Yeah. So
I don't know, but then in that sense, that's what a lot of real escape rooms are like, right? There's loads of red herrings and stuff. So it is only sort of mimicking that, I guess. But yeah, I've been having a really good time on it.
I've just seen it says you can play more than 4 players.
Oh, can you? See, I've co-opted it with friend of the show Chris Spann previously. Which was really good fun. But it's like I've been surprised by how much I've enjoyed it as a single player thing. Like, because to me, obviously, no one goes to do an actual escape room on their own. I mean, I'm sure some people do, but not for me, thanks. So therefore, you would feel like playing an escape room game on your own would feel weird, but it really doesn't. And I'm now sort of excited to go back to Escape Academy because I played like a bit of that. Co-opt it with various different people, but the multiplayer implementation is weird in Escape Academy in that, like, because there's like a bit of a story to it and stuff, only like the host's game saves, right? So if you join someone else and then so you're not making any progress, but you're doing all the escape rooms, and believe it or not, there's not really much fun in replaying an escape room that you've already done and you already know the answers to.
Yes.
Pretty tedious. Yeah. So I think I'm just going to go back to Escape Academy and just be like, yeah, it's a single player game. Who cares? Like, it's fine.
Right.
Yeah, so on this, it says all rooms are playable online co-op. We recommend to play the built-in ones with up to 3, but you are welcome to play with more. Community rooms have been tested with up to 10 people.
Jesus.
Imagine that.
That'd be chaos. You just like,
that would be ridiculous.
Oh, I love that. I love the sound of that. Is there a good... Right, so you can get VR escape room experiences, right?
Yes, but weirdly, you would think there would be loads on the Quest, right, or whatever. Somehow, not so much.
None.
There's plenty of like puzzle games, but very few that sort of mimic
like
the whole
what
structure
stream
of an
that'd
escape
be
room.
The 4 of us doing an escape room on VR.
Well, they all tend to be single player as well. Like, so it's games like
really?
Games like Red Matter. I don't know. Have you played either of those, Matt? I haven't, but I gather
no. But Red Matter 2, like that got loads of plaudits because it basically looks absolutely stunning. Like the work they've done to make that work on Quest 2 is unbelievable.
Yeah. So that has escape room-ish puzzles, but it's single player. So somehow that's not become a thing.
Well, I know
in VR.
Because the Laser Quest in Sheffield when we went, they had an escape room VR. It wasn't set up ready. I don't. Maybe someone tried it. I can't remember, but
I don't think it was working, was it?
I think it was like a 4-player thing.
Yeah.
Or you all in a room doing an escape room.
But they seem to be sort of just for like certain venues and stuff. Like you can't just go on the store and buy the game.
Yeah.
Really strange.
It's weird, isn't it?
But yeah, Escape Simulator, proper enjoying it. Like I say, it's perfect on the deck as well. Like it runs perfectly, and because obviously the whole point is that you escape from every room within like 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever. They vary. There's different, like some you'll start and it's like, right, you've got an hour and it's like, oh shit. This is going to be tough. Like, it's got a really nice hint system in that there's just like a button on the wall. So if you're getting stuck, you just whack that. It prints out a little slip of paper with like the next clue, and it's always like it's context sensitive, so it always knows like what the next step in the puzzle is. You know, sometimes with like, I can't remember if the Room games do this, but you know, where it's like, oh yeah, you know, press this button to get a hint. And then it's like, yeah, I did that 20 minutes ago. Like, what's the next one? What's the next one? What's that? Right, okay, now we've caught up to where I actually am. So it skips all that. It always shows you something relevant. Yeah, it's a really nice time.
Did you buy like the bundle? Because there's like steampunk, there's like Wild West, there's all sorts.
Yeah, so I already owned, like I say, I've had the base game for a while and just not played loads of it. And then, yeah, in the Christmas sale, I picked up both the DLC packs. And they're really good. And they are like a cut above like the stuff from the main game as well. Like the initial, like the levels that come with the game, they are like quite small. Like the rooms are like really like quite sort of, like quite tiny, which is fine because you're walking around in first person, you're picking things up, moving stuff around, cross-referencing things. Like, it sort of makes sense for everything to be close together, but yeah, but in the DLC, like, it's like it starts spreading out quite a bit and is just more interesting because of it, like the much more believable environments that you're in. Like the end of the steampunk one, you're on like the deck of this like airship, and it's fucking great. It's really good.
Have you started? Do you want to make your own levels? I assume you can. You obviously can construct your own. In this.
Yeah, you can build your own. I mean, it's tempting. I don't know if I've got any like ideas.
Oh my god, can I access it?
TCGS flavoured escape room.
I mean, you'd need to buy it on Steam. Is the only thing.
I don't know.
I mean, it works on Mac. It works on Mac.
Oh, does it?
Well, you put me off getting a Steam Deck, funny enough.
Did I? What have I done?
Yeah, so I think at one point we were all sort of saying, should we all get Steam Decks and leaning towards getting Steam Decks? Mm-hmm. And I think you panicked because it was your recommendation, and you said something like, I mean, you still got to tinker with games to, you know, get them to run nicely.
I mean, generally not. Like,
that's me out then. That's me.
It's but it's very clear like what will be flawless and what won't, and it's and it's just more and more games are getting added all the time.
You're still getting that clicker problems where you put with a
that Touchwood seems to have magically stopped.
What a weird bug!
Really weird.
Was.
Oh, do you want to? Right, this is. I will tell this story as quickly as I can, just because it might save someone else a headache.
Go for it.
Right.
Love all this. Love a bit of customer service stories. Go on.
Are you all familiar with HDMI CEC?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
So that's the protocol that's meant to mean like your HDMI devices can talk to each other, right? So if you turn your console on,
hate that.
Turns the telly on. He's really serious.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's pretty wonky, isn't it? It doesn't always work. It's
just stop trying to predict what we're. So Matt, I got your a TV very similar to yours, right?
Yeah.
I don't. So when you plug the PlayStation in, for some reason this TV knows it's a PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
It just goes.
A lot of TVs do these days. It knows it's a Switch or Apple TV or whatever. Yeah.
And it turns on that thing that you're talking about, and it's just the worst thing ever. You wake up in the morning, you turn your TV on, and beep, your PlayStation's on. I don't want the PlayStation on. I'll turn the PlayStation off. It turns the TV off. Stop doing all of that.
That's the, you can remember the PS4. Yeah, the PS4 had the same thing. Like, I'd turn the PS4 off, and it's like, right, I'll turn the telly off as well. It's like, no, I want to watch something. Fuck off.
It's the kind of thing where that only makes sense if you have one device, basically, that you've got plugged in. Yeah. If you've got one thing plugged in...
You can tweak it in the settings to sort of fine-tune it. So
what do you mean? Like, what can you ask it to do?
You can say that, like, oh, so if I turn the PS5 on, then turn the telly on, but don't let it turn the telly off, and don't.
If I turn the PS5 off,
you can do that.
But and don't turn the PS5 on when I turn the telly on, because that's not necessarily.
Yeah, because the only thing that I might want it to do is if the telly's on and I turn the PS5 on, automatically change it to HDMI. That sounds fine to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it will do that.
On and off.
That's annoying as well, though, because I've had the experience so many times where I'm sitting there playing a game or whatever, and then someone like sits on the remote or something, and then it's just like,
sorry. The PlayStation have always had that problem that it's far too easy to turn on that fucking machine. For the PS4 was the same, but it's like if you grab the pad. In anywhere apart from the handles, you hear that beep, or the amount of times I've got a drawer next to my consoles which just has loads of controllers in it, right? The amount of times, like, I'll finish my Xbox, open the drawer, put the Xbox pad on it, and you'd hear beep because it's nudged the fucking place. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I need to change that saying on mine because I must still have it for the Switch. So like we've got the Switch and the like LED Switch beneath TV in the dock. And I'm like, oh, well, it's on the sofa. I'll charge it, put the Switch in. Suddenly, switch from Netflix to like.
Yeah.
And I never need that to happen ever. So I should change that.
Sorry, sure. We got 2 seconds into your long story.
It's fine. It's added some spice.
Anyone heard of HDR?
Why is it spicy?
I mean,
we didn't address that, did we?
We don't need to.
We'll
don't
come
need
back
to.
that.
It's fine.
We'll come back to that. God.
Right. So I have a TV and like an AV amp because I'm a prick and I like having nice speakers and stuff. So the CEC is really useful because, you know, I've got some things plugged into the telly, some things plugged into the amp, and it theoretically sorts all that out for you. However, sometimes it just, I don't know, it goes a bit wonky, right? It doesn't quite work. And then basically in December, I was like, it's completely stopped. It has stopped working, and I don't fucking know why. I was losing my mind going through what I was unplugging everything, restarting everything, like just making sure like that maybe the TV needed a firmware update, all this shit. Not like it was like none of the HDMI devices could even see each other anymore. Like you go in the menus where normally it would show you, like it would list everything. Nothing was there. Turns out the knockoff Steam Deck dock that I'd bought has like a buggy implementation of CEC and fucks the whole thing.
Oh my god!
So I worked this out myself, and then I went and Googled it, and there's like a massive thread on it on Reddit. And the solution is you have to, for a tenner, you can get a little CEC killer, which is literally just like a little HDMI pass-through dongle that just has a pin missing, which is the one that conveys the CEC information.
Oh, that's funny.
So there you go. So if you buy one of the, I don't know how you pronounce it, the JSAUX docks, which are otherwise fine.
Yeah, JSAU. I was going to ask if you had that, because the one everyone's raving about is the one you can actually put like a M.2 drive in the dock.
Yeah. Oh, I see. No, I've not got that one.
Yeah.
But
which is pretty cool.
So there you go. Public service announcement.
Okay. So avoid trying to save some money on a dock.
Yeah, just get the official one.
Yeah, or at least get some sort of HDMI pass-through thing. Yeah.
It's weird because I think I was talking to you, Sean, about like Steam Deck, and like, you know, it came out in February last year. So you're like, wow, almost a year. Will they do a Steam Deck 2? But then because it was like hard to get hold of for so long, it's only recently been in the last 2 or 3 months where it's like, you know, instant shipping or 1 to 2 weeks. I'm not sure when they would like do a follow-up because it feels way too soon, even though it may be coming up to a year.
Yeah, because like you say, it's only so recently sort of really become so readily available, and clearly like it must be doing like amazing traffic because there's so many articles about it and stuff, like tweaks and mods and like best accessories and all, like this SD card's gone cheap, better get it for your Steam Deck. Just constant.
Do you think they will keep iterating on this? Like, as in,
they've
like more
said
frequently?
They said there's going to be a multi-generational product, and there will be a Steam Deck 2, but...
But like I say, I don't think there's necessarily any sort of rush, and like, it's the same as with like the Series S. Like, okay, it's not super powerful, but it's done well enough that it's going to be worth developers catering to it. So,
yeah, I don't know. I'll probably end up with one by the end of the year, but not that. Or maybe I'll get the Quest instead because I know I'm gonna. I don't know. It's so different enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what have I been playing this week? I have been playing... I'll get to the main game I've been playing this week in a bit, but we've been smashing some Switch this week.
Yeah.
Mario Party is just... I'll have to send you... I wish there was a mode in Mario Party where you could preset it before you start a game to say, no matter what happens... I don't win, okay? Because part of the craziness, so we've been playing, the first like few games we were playing, it was me and Charlie versus Harry, and me and Charlie would always win, right?
Are you playing the most recent one that's like the best of, or?
No, the Super Mario Party. So you could do, it's like 2v2. There's a really good 2v2 mode.
Yeah, we play that a lot.
Yeah, so the weekend, like, Charlie went, I want to be with Harry now. So Harry and Charlie were on the same team. And I was trying everything impossible to lose that game. Yeah. And we went into the game they had one more star than me, and we come out of it, and I had 2 more stars than them. Like,
Was this
the
the bonus star
stars at
bullshit?
the end.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they got they were fuming.
Yeah.
I'll have to send you the video, James. It's so funny.
You see, this is the exact same thing we have with Asher every single time we play that game. Because somehow, even if it's all 4 of us playing it, he loses every time, and he goes and he goes crazy every single time. Because it's like because the unfairness, particularly of those bonus stars, which just like...
I do want to try the normal mode. I don't think I've ever played the standard Mario Party mode in that game. We've always played that sort of tag team, so it's like free roaming one where you're not actually following the spaces. Yeah, you're literally just choosing where you go. You know, and it's. I mean, it's so much fun, and we've been playing that. We've been playing Mario Kart. We've been playing all these games. It just reminds me, because it's weird. We haven't done enough of that, especially over Christmas, because Harry's like into his FIFA now. He doesn't really want to play these games. Charlie, Charlie would just do anything, but yeah, we don't play enough Switch games. So
we started playing some more Mario Kart over Christmas because the new levels came out and everything. We played some of those.
We need to try them. Yeah, we've been doing we love the prison game, is what they call it. So we're all on the same team, and we're doing that where you catch each other in here. The prison
battle mode thing.
The battle mode. It's just so much fun.
I still think they kind of made a mistake with that, with having such a massive gap between those levels coming out.
I mean, and they're not like amazing, are they?
No, it's if it had
the
been...
tour ones are so bad.
Yeah.
Like it's so insane that they're really noticeably bad. Compared to the others.
Like, imagine if they'd have done that.
I love the update. I've not tried it yet, but I love the update where you can select which items you can use. And have you seen the baby park where you can only get the bullet bill thing?
No.
We've done the other day. I was playing with Asher, and he was like, "I've set it up with some rules that we're going to play." And I was like, okay, whatever. And then so we started playing it, and he just changed it so it was all blue shells. Like every single one was a blue shell.
I love that. I need to get Charlie to do that. Actually, we'll do that this weekend. Should we? We did this on Marvel Calls, the recent recording. But should we talk about how our kids mugged us off really badly this weekend? You've heard this story, I think, but I'll tell it anyway for the listeners.
Go on.
So Charlie mugged me off in the most outrageous way this weekend. I couldn't quite no one can ever upset me anymore, because Charlie upset me more than anyone else has ever done in my life, right? So I walked in, and we've been watching that. Have you seen those Steve Max videos that's been doing the rounds?
No, I don't think so.
He's a professional Simon Says guy.
Right.
And it's like basketball matches. He comes on at halftime. He gets like 20 people out on the court, and he plays Simon Says with them. And he's amazing at it. It's so funny. Like he'll get rid of a few people, and then he'll go, okay, can you move down? Oh, well, you're out. Anyone that moves down, like, because Simon didn't say, all that sort of stuff. Really, really well done. And we've been watching those. So I walked into the front room, and I turned around to Charlie. And he was just sitting there, doing whatever. And I went, "Here, Charlie, do you want a game of Simon Says?" And he went, "Yeah, can I be Simon?" He's 4 years old, right? He said, "Yeah, can I be Simon?" I went, yeah, go on then. He went, "Simon Says, go away."
Fuck. Oh my God.
And I looked at him and I went, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." And I walked out, and I went, "What the fuck?"
That is savage.
I know, right? James, tell your story. What did Asher do to you?
See, and then so I just went into his bedroom, because he was
good.
And I was thinking, it looks a bit of a mess in here. Yeah, there was some paper on the floor. I picked it up and I looked at it, and he'd written on one side it said, "Please turn over." Turned it over. On the other side it said, "Please turn over." And I was like,
I was there for hours.
What's this for?
So actually, it has been quite nice getting into. No, you can't get into games. Like Switch games are but Nintendo are just the best at that stuff, aren't they? Like really, you can't compare anything on PlayStation or Xbox anything to the games like that. Where even the crap ones, like the fucking. We'll play Melee. We'll play Smash Brothers, right, and have fun with it. But you can see it's a legitimately good game. There's some depth there or whatever, obviously. But even the crap ones like Strikers, you know what I mean? We'll still have fun with that. Why not? It's our favourite.
Isaac's well into Kirby Fighters 2 at the moment.
What's that?
Exactly. What it is, Dave, is a Kirby game that doesn't cost 50 quid.
Right,
And kept
okay,
him quiet.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Because he kept saying, because he really wants Star Allies. And I remembered, obviously, like you guys were talking about how like your kids found it really good as a way of like really getting into platformers and stuff.
Obsession. Yeah. It become an obsession, that game.
And it's still £50 everywhere. So I was like, yeah, I'll see if I can get it at some point. Oh, about this one. This one's 18 quid.
Done.
So, yeah.
Well, they've got the free version of that. That's not too different from Kirby Star Allies. What's it called?
There is a free to play. There's a free to play one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically just a boss rush version of that game.
Oh, yeah.
So try him out on that.
Yeah, maybe. The thing is, because I would love him to play Star Allies, but as I say, it's too fucking expensive. But then it's not going to go down at any point. So maybe I just bite the bullet.
Maybe
and just get
bite the bullet.
Yeah.
I always found trading games is the way to go for games like that.
That's true. I've probably got some Switch stuff I could trade in at this point.
CEX is always good for that shit. It takes a sting out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
Speaking
Matt.
of Nintendo games, we haven't actually spoke about the fact there was a Switch Sports update over Christmas. I haven't actually played golf yet, but I see.
I played golf.
I played it.
It's
awful. I didn't like it.
It was alright. Is
it awful?
I found it borderline uncontrollable. I really didn't like it at all. It's I was like, I'm not never going to.
You've got to be very specific with the way that you're holding the controller. Yeah, it's not user friendly. Something's off. You all laughed at me, but something is off about the movement of those pads, the detection of it. Something's not
nothing like
right.
as good as a Wiimote. No way.
No. But no. Speaking of sports, I bought Sports Story, and I think because Sports Story came out the 24th of December.
Also got a stealth release because that kind of came out. Well, we're waiting for it and suddenly bang, it's out.
They said
it was coming out December.
Yeah, but then we were like, guys, not a lot of December left.
Yeah, what
Come
the hell?
on.
Okay, it's out then.
Yeah.
And it came out, and I read all the reports about how buggy it is and how much of a mess it is, and I said I'm not going to buy it then. And then I was like, no, I've got to buy it. You know, I loved Golf Story. I think Golf Story had its problems.
Yeah.
And for those of you that have not played it, it was sort of an RPG. It looked like an RPG. It wasn't an RPG. It looked like one. You know, it was about as RPG as Zelda, you know, where you would run around little local environments. You could the sort of hook was, you're learning how to play golf, and it's like one of those standard sort of top-down golf games where you press stop at the power and then you press stop at the accuracy. But this time you're running around towns, and you could put a golf ball down anywhere. And, you know, we'll base puzzles around that. We'll do, you know, it was all sorts of little hidden secrets you could do. But what did it for me is that the writing was really good.
Yep.
There was plenty wrong with Golf Story. You know, some of the there was a lot of quest. Look, what is it? Fetch quests. There was a lot of trade quests where it's like, I need this.
The
I will give you
music
that.
was really shit. Remember?
Oh, I quite like the music. I didn't hate the music.
Okay.
But for me, the character and the comedy was just so well done, and how wild it got. You know, you ended up in a haunted house at one point. There was a murder mystery thing. There was all sorts going on in that story, and it was really good fun. So they announced in, when was it? 2018?
Was it that long ago?
I think it was.
Christ.
2018, 2019, because it was slated to come out in 2020. Sports Story, which was, the idea was, you like Golf Story, this is more of that, but this time it's got tons more sports in it. Like, you can play cricket, you can play volleyball, you can play football, you know, so it's not just limited to golf. And I was like, I'm bang up for that. I was really excited. And then it just went quiet for years, didn't it?
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
2 years or something where we didn't hear a word about it.
It was like something else was going on. Weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sure, but still, it was very strange for the game to go quiet. I think what I took away from Golf Story before going into Sports Story is that here's a game with many faults that has so much potential to be absolutely brilliant. I can't wait to see where this series goes. Flash forward to me this weekend, looking at it on the store, it's 12 quid, and thinking, do you know what, I need something to play, I will give that a go. And I would love to know the development story behind this, because there's a story behind it.
Mm-hmm.
There's absolutely a story behind it. You can only assume that they had signed a contract to get that game out in 2022, because that game does not feel finished.
Yeah.
In so many different ways, it doesn't feel finished. The bugs that people were moaning about on Twitter that we were looking at, Sean, I think is the extreme case.
Because there were people who literally couldn't progress and stuff, right? There was
and I had one moment like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what it is that even those people that are saying they literally can't progress, I think it's you close the game, you reboot it, it takes a checkpoint save, and you carry on, and you're fine.
Yeah.
So that's what happened to me. So in one portion of the game, I was in a cutscene and I pressed a button, just as you do in cutscenes sometimes, and he put down the ball as if he was actually going to play golf. And then it just completely messed it all up, and everything froze. And I was like, "Am I supposed to be doing something? What's going on?"
Yeah.
So I closed the game, reopened it, and went in there. What blows me away is that it's got none of the character of charm of that original game.
Oh, what a shame! Because that's the one thing that it needed to continue.
Really
right?
had,
yeah.
I mean, it really had that, and you were hoping that they could build a better game around that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm now 3 hours in, and I'm going, look, it's playable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I am enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to play more of it, and I'll probably see it through to the end. But I'm sitting there going, but where's all the laughs?
Mm.
Where's all the comedy? Where's all the fun, interesting characters?
Mm.
Where's the back and forth between rivals or whatever?
Mm.
There's none of it. And it's way more golf focused, which than I thought it would be, which is fine.
Mm.
I've played one sport and I'm training for another sport at the moment. I played a bit of volleyball and then I'm training for cricket. But it's still, everything is golf related. I'm still playing rounds of golf. I'm still putting a golf ball down to solve puzzles and stuff. But then the
it's
puzzles
still primarily
are weird.
Golf, even though it's still primarily golf, even if all the others. Oh, okay.
It's still very much
the golf in the first game, it was all right, but it wasn't like the main hook of the game. I didn't think.
No, but it was still fun enough to do. It was more. Look, it was full of fetch quests, and this is full of fetch quests. This is, I need this. If you need this, then you go and get me this, and you always feel like you're fighting with the game to work out what it wants you to do. Like what are you asking me to do first? How is this logically leading on to me getting a drink for someone, for my coach?
Yeah.
How are we getting from point A to point B? You're not making it clear enough. But I look at it and I go, there's a story here, because there are moments, there are sections of the game that feel polished and finished. And then there are sections of the game where it's like, for example, I'm on a beach and it's full of rubbish, and you pick up the rubbish and you put it in the bin. And but when you go to pick up the rubbish, it doesn't say press A to pick up. It says that it shows you the A button and it says show next to it.
Right.
And you'll go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah.
There'll be times where, you're just like, you'll get caught on a bit of scenery and you can't move for a little bit, and then suddenly you pop out of it and you go, that's weird. Or a cutscene will happen and it will teleport you from one place to another and then teleport you back again. Or a cutscene will change scenes, but one of the characters stays on the screen for like a fraction of a second before it disappears.
Right.
So it doesn't feel like a nice transition. It's all stuff like that. And you're going, right, okay, I'm trying to work out what's going on here. Either there's been a major falling out but in that team during the development of this, and that's had a huge impact. It could be COVID. But as we know, probably indie gaming had the least impact when it comes to development from COVID, because now this is a generalization, right? I'm sure this isn't for everyone, but the majority of indie games were done from working from home anyway.
Yeah.
So that was like a common practice. So maybe not that.
Well,
the only thing that I can think of is that this team bit off way more than they could chew. And I think I'd love to know if they're sitting there now thinking, we should have done Golf Story 2.
Yeah. Because no one would have minded. No one expected sports story. Like,
no,
totally could have just done another golf story and just refined it, kept it funny. That would have been fine.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's probably now. I'm 3 hours in. It's a 10-hour game, 10 to 15-hour game.
Mm-hmm.
I will play more of it, and I'll report back as I play it.
Mm-hmm.
But based off what I've played so far, it's one of the most disappointing games I've ever played. Not because of what we've got, but because of my expectations of where Golf Story was going to go.
Yeah,
you know, I expected them to keep the stuff that was so good about Golf Story and improve the stuff that wasn't. And in fact, actually, none of it feels as good as Golf Story. And I think, oh man, that's really sad. That's really sad. That really sucks.
Yeah. I'm just looking at an article from 2021 where the developers announced that, quote, everything is coming together now. Please look forward to more updates going forward. We have much to share. It's yeah, as you say, it's clearly it's overambitious. But the fact that it's not even as funny really seems like someone's left. Or
well, it depends, doesn't it?
Weird.
It depends, because that could be because they had to put all their efforts into getting all of the sport mechanics correct and working. You know, so they didn't have enough time to refine the story, make it funny, sort out the transitions, all of that stuff. That's why I find it so fascinating.
Yeah,
I love to know what happened. I've never heard the people behind Golf Story being interviewed.
No, me neither.
And obviously they can't come out and tell the story yet because so soon after release.
Yeah,
but I'd love to know the story.
I mean, it sounds like they're working on it. There was a big patch at the start of January, which apparently has fixed a bunch of stuff, but there's still, like, you look on Twitter, there's still people going like, yeah, thanks, but it's still not there, like nowhere near. Yeah, God, what a shame.
Yeah, and I hope that the game improves. As I said,
Could
I've looked at a small fraction of it.
Be fixed via lots of patching or something, or
Well, yes. In terms of the
bugs, but not in terms of the story.
No, in terms of the story, because
no
Golf Story hits you straight away. You're a nobody, and a coach. The coach is hilarious, right, in the first game. And the coach says, like, so far the coach has said to me, "Here's a phone. I don't have to follow you around anymore. I can just call you. And can you get me a drink? And can you get me a sandwich? That's it." And I'm like, what?
Wow.
This is the coach.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's not been many gags in it at all, really. Something's happened, man. I'd love to know. This is going to be one to keep an eye on. But yeah, as I said, I'll report back next week when I played a lot more. Damn.
What shame.
Oh, and also I started Pentiment, Sean.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be happy to know.
I mean, I was going to say, if you didn't enjoy Citizen Sleeper, I probably would have told you to swerve Pentiment, to be honest.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? No, because I finished Citizen Sleeper and I enjoyed the ending that I got. I didn't love the game as a whole, but I certainly appreciated it way more once I'd finished it. Right. Okay. Yeah. So I think the final hour and a half of that game is superb. And which is weird because you don't know what my final hour and a half is because it's all different or whatever. But I don't feel the need to go back to it. I didn't really like the decision at the end that I had is whether I stayed or left, basically. And I won't tell you what happens, but it was the easiest decision for me because I didn't care for anyone else on the fucking thing, so it was fine. But okay, fine. A lot of people enjoyed that game way more than I did. Pentiment, though, I really liked straight away.
Really? Because I struggled at first. Like, most people who love it will still tell you, like, the first couple of hours are a bit dry.
Really? Yeah, until it opens up,
Yeah.
Well, I did quite enjoy it at the start. I just liked the style of the character and the stuff it was asking me to do.
The thing, however, the way it opens with his, his sort of, I forget what they call it now, his like imaginarium or whatever it is, where the main character's dreaming, and it's like, it's beautiful, isn't it? Like the way it's all illustrated and stuff.
Yeah. Well, The problem is I looked it up and it's like a 16 to 18 hour game, I think, something around that area.
Yeah, it's longer than you would think.
Yeah. So I was kind of like, oh no, I'm not ready for this sort of commitment yet. So I will come back to that though. But that's on the back of my mind. I will play it because what the fuck else am I going to do at this point?
It's definitely it's because it's definitely about a lot of things that I would assume I was too stupid or like not knowledgeable enough to get it, because there's so much history there, so much stuff about like obviously we're all like English people of a certain age. We all had some relationship with Christianity growing up, right? Whether you liked it or not.
Oh yeah.
So there's stuff in there regardless, for us. But initially I was like, this is going to go into things in a depth that I'm not going to be able to get. But it does bring you along well enough. Like, even though, the first few hours, you'll be like, every 2 minutes, you'll be like pressing the button to bring up the definitions of like words that are on the screen, which is a really nice feature. Yeah. And after a bit, you stop having to do that quite so much. And you do learn a bunch of stuff. So it is surprisingly accessible.
Yeah. No, so I will get back to that at some point.
Cool.
But let me get through Sports Story first. And that's what we've been playing this week. Should we get to questions?
Yeah. If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/DearTCGS. Virtua Boy has done that. He says, I wholeheartedly agree with what David said on last week's show about Astro's Playroom. It is 100% one of the best games on the PlayStation 5. I have 3 kids, 3, 5 and 7 years old. That's quite a nice... Every 2 years, I mean, I guess they've stuck with 3, right?
That does not sound nice to me.
I'm just saying they've got a rhythm.
Nice
3 kids have really latched onto the game, so much so that we've played it, found all the collectibles, then beat it again. My kids now love all the PlayStation hardware, even if they've only played on a PS5. My 5-year-old calls the PlayStation Lab a paradise due to the music and the vibe she gets every time. With all of that said, my question is, do you think Sony knows what a hit they have on their hands with Astro Bot as a character? Because it seems like they don't. There are no toys or memorabilia available to buy anywhere, and I think it's a shame. In my opinion, Astro Bot could be the cute mascot character they've needed to match Nintendo for years.
I think they don't.
Beats the piss out of Sackboy, right?
Who owns the design of Astro Bot? That's the question.
Wasn't it? Which studio is it that made it? It's not Japan Studio.
It was Sony Japan, wasn't it?
It is,
no,
yeah.
isn't it? I can't remember now.
Well, I think it's Asobi, but then
you'd have to assume that Sony own.
Oh, they
Astro
definitely
Bot,
own
right?
it. Yeah, but there's no
character.
Yeah,
So Team Asobi is a PlayStation studio.
Yeah,
right.
So, yeah.
What I mean,
First party.
You're absolutely right, and we said it after the first Astro Bot game, which came out. What was the first one?
It was the VR one,
the
wasn't it?
PSVR one.
It was the VR. It was the PSVR Worlds, right?
Yes. That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Even after that, we said, why are they pushing Sackboy instead of this guy?
Yeah.
Like, this guy is perfect. And I think Astro Bot's Playroom, it embodied... I mean, everyone said it, and I sit with that as well. I didn't think I was nostalgic about PlayStation until I played that game. And then I was like, I love all things PlayStation now. What is going on?
Yeah, for sure.
They need to come out, honestly, they genuinely need to come out this year, and say, we're doing a full, massive PlayStation, fucking hell, Astro game, Astro Bot game. And you think about it, it can be levels like the one that we've seen in Playroom. You don't have to collect artifacts, which are bits of PlayStation memorabilia. It can drop that stuff, but then maybe you're unlocking stuff for a little Astro Town or whatever.
Yeah.
But keep all of the wicked stuff that he does with the controller, new ideas, all of that sort of stuff. No, Astro first come out with the PlayStation Eye camera, right?
Did he?
Do you remember?
Yeah,
on the PS4?
I think it was. Yeah, because it was like the little things, wasn't it? They used to they came out of the.
Well, with
they come out of the
iToy.
pads and then they run around your feet.
Exactly.
when you have the
Yeah,
camera
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
That's where they come from, and I love them from there. You know. But here's the thing. I can't drum home hard enough. Like, the game feels amazing to play.
Yeah.
Like, it feels so good to play. You know, when they talk about Nintendo level for Playroom or the VR game, I cannot underestimate how good these games play, and it feels to control Astro Bot. It just feels great.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much creativity there's just so much love. And this team deserves to be making like a full-fledged 3D platformer like a 3D Mario game, because it's clear from these games, the VR one, the non-VR one, that probably an iToy one I didn't play, that they have the capacity and the creativity and the love to do it
that's
justice.
not what that studio do, though, right? That's not what this is something that they've done on the side on the build-up to show
that's
off
the thing.
hardware, right?
I take just more even of this length. Just some more of these.
Oh,
you know, do you know what I mean?
absolutely.
No,
yeah.
I want a proper one, man. I want a proper full Astro game.
I don't think that's going to happen.
So I've just checked.
I
So
don't think it's
they've
gonna happen
only
either.
done
It's not their
Astro
audience.
Bot games. So they did the Playroom, and then the Playroom VR, and then Astro Bot Rescue Mission for the PS4, and then Astro's Playroom for the PS5. That's it.
Yeah.
See, also, I mean, that was one of the other, for me, big disappointments, that it seems like the PSVR 2 isn't getting one of those. Yeah, like as a thing.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? You would expect them to. They're probably working on
I was
one.
going to say, maybe they're just waiting to announce it. I mean, I suppose I do think it's a shame that they don't appear to have made more of Astro Bot, but then maybe the counterpoint is, well, actually, they just really don't want to fuck it up, right? They don't want to just start churning
but they
out.
haven't mind doing that with like fucking Sackboy.
Yeah, Sackboy's
true,
disappeared now, though, isn't it? Like, that's not a thing
Yeah,
anymore.
but they did pump him on everything. I mean, he had a kart racer, right?
Yeah,
God,
But
yeah.
that was all
Yeah,
like, wasn't that
Christ.
PS3 era though? That was like,
Yeah.
It was, but then maybe that's the point, right? Maybe they saw what they did with Sackboy and like let's not repeat that because that did not work.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they've
I think
gone in
the
the
fact that
opposite
the games
direction.
weren't as good was probably
Yeah.
a larger factor. But
But at least get one standalone game. Like, I mean, look, my concern is, but okay, if they come out and go, they're making a PSVR 2 game, well, I've got two problems with that. Not many people are going to play it, right? And secondly, it's going to be all gimmicks. It's all going to be about what the bits do. No, forget that. You've got an amazing platforming game here. Like, really build on that. But I'm, their argument might be that's not our audience. Do you know what I mean? That's what Nintendo do. People that want those sort of games have a Switch. Like, we're not going to pile money into development of a game that we don't think is going to sell. I mean, because it's like easy to forget that they gave away Astro's Playroom.
Yeah.
They gave it away.
is that still is that just free forever, or is it
Yeah, I think so.
okay.
It just comes pre-installed with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
console, right? Because you can't buy it separately.
right? Yeah.
Oh, Sean, I kind of
It's
want to
so
just
good.
invite you round for the weekend and just get you to play the whole thing.
Yeah.
'cause
It's so good.
Just fucking brilliant.
It's still one of the best experiences I've had on PS5. Like to
Yeah.
just
I was
bundle that with a
thinking, actually,
console.
Matt,
Hmm?
like, I was thinking this while I was playing it the weekend again. Is it the best packing game?
nah.
Well, I think Switch
No.
Sports beats it, but
I don't know if it does.
You mean Wii Sports, not Switch
I
Sports.
mean,
about-
definitely,
What
definitely
about
not Switch Sports.
Tetris? Like Tetris on the original Game Boy. I mean, that's like a enormous
Was
packing.
that a packing game
Yeah,
on day one?
It was, yeah, it was a packing.
Was it?
Well,
So
that
what
Alex
are packing
Kidd
games?
on
Let's
Master System
think
2.
about packing games.
I was
right?
going to say,
So
because
you've
I
got-
always, when this comes up, I always think, oh, Mario 64, but that wasn't a packing. It was just that
No,
it
it
had
wasn't.
like
It was just a launch
just
game.
had like a 1-to-1 attach rate for like months, like
Yeah.
because who was buying that?
And you had
console
like
anyway?
what is it, Super Mario All Stars? But again, that came later down the line.
yeah,
Right?
wasn't a launch packing, was it?
I mean, Sonic
No.
Sonic became a packing for Mega Drive, and then also for Master System later as well.
But again, they sold that game separately at the start,
Yeah.
right?
No.
Alex
It,
Kidd.
it launched as a packing as well. Like it was.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah,
Sonic.
yeah. Because
I
there
would
was
say that's below. I'd say this is better than Sonic as a packing game.
Yeah.
I mean, I
mean,
feel
it-
like we're all ignoring Nintendo land here, guys.
You're always a big
Good
proponent
point,
for
for
Nintendo
sure.
Land,
It's still. I mean, Astro Bot is also still the only game on PS5 that really shows why the DualSense is like an interesting controller as well.
But then isn't that very Nintendo though? Like,
Yeah, I mean, not with with 1-2 was I 1-2.
The 1-2 Switch wasn't a packing.
Should have
Again, that was so weird.
Yeah.
Oh
Why
my god,
wasn't
yeah,
that?
it wasn't, was it?
No, but
Why
wasn't it
wasn't
like-
that?
They charged fucking full price
Yeah,
for
full
that
price,
pile
wasn't
of
it?
shit.
Yeah,
that was mad.
that's ridiculous.
Right,
How-
okay, so Tetris.
you can't discount
Yeah.
Tetris. Come on, that was like
Mm.
that's one of the biggest games
I'm
of all
not
time.
discounting. I know it was amazing,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I think what I like about this so much, and say Wii Sports, is that it shows you what the controllers can do, and that is when you play Astro Bot, Astro's Playroom, you go, oh, this is what the PS5 can do. Wow. Do you know what I mean? And you kind of got that with Wii Sports as well, because it was like you'd never played games like that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But Tetris, you had like Link Play and stuff like that had not been like done on handhelds and stuff like really. Well, okay, it had been done before, but do you know what I mean? Like not in this like sort of ease of use and everything. I mean,
Yeah, but you need to buy more stuff.
No,
to
you
do
didn't.
that, right?
I think, whereas like...
What?
You didn't, not for the Link Play, because everybody had a copy of Tetris, everybody had a link cable. You could...
Well,
you
not
just-
everyone had a link cable.
You did, they were included.
Where the heck?
They were.
I'm
Seriously.
not-
Link cable was
not
included
Link cable
with
was
the launch
included.
Game Boy. Was it really?
Not convinced.
I like the fact that James just stopped.
I'm pretty certain it is. Let me just check.
I had
If only we had a search engine.
I had a
Was the
Game
Link
Boy...
Because I remember playing it with
Yeah,
friends.
because your parents bought all the accessories.
Fuck off, did they? It was-
Everyone at your private school had a link cable.
Yeah, exactly. But you bought a Game Boy, and then every week they just sent you all the new games for free.
yeah, okay, it was included. The link cable was included with the Game Boy. Oh no, that's the Game Boy printer. That's not the one. Hang on.
I
Let me have
love
a look.
James.
I've got like,
the
look,
fall of
I
James
can't
Farley
do. You
every
can't
week.
do this on the fly. It's ridiculous.
Well, while you're looking at that, Matt, can you write down on your notes that today's episode needs to be called "The Fall of James Farley"? Please, because
Coming apart at the
I'm sure it
That's too
included the
good.
link cable because there's no way I
I'd
would
be
have bought one.
surprised because I had a Game Boy and I didn't have a link cable. So why would I just not have a link cable?
Like, there's no way.
Actually,
I
I'll
would
I had a
probably
Game
bought
Boy
it second hand.
Pocket was my first one. That didn't have one, but then that was...
Really, I had an old grey thing.
Yeah.
I
I got mine
why
when I
would they
opened up a
include that?
Halifax Kids account. It was free.
Oh yeah,
It was the only reason I got the account, obviously.
nice.
While James is searching for that, David, how do you think... according to the internet, by the way, it says the link cable was included with Game Boy printer, but anyway, no news yet on the original Game Boy. David, what do you think about it
More as we
winning
get it.
a Gotti, about Astro Bot winning Game of the Year that year? Do you still feel regret over that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah, I do. I don't think the VR game is as good as Astro's Playroom, and I think it also come out the same year as Red Dead Redemption 2, Matthew. The game that you skip the cutscenes for and
Not
played
true.
music over the top so you couldn't
Stop
hear the story.
lying. That wasn't what I did.
You
I
played
just
the
whiz-
Benny Hill theme tune over the top of it so you could move faster
I
to the
just
next
played it
icon.
quickly. I just did a
Fucking
James
infuriating.
Farley.
Do you
What was I
remember
gonna
that
say?
fucking, was it hot air balloon mission in Red Dead?
Yeah.
Man? Oh my God, that makes me feel sick
Yeah.
just thinking about
Because that was
it.
just like, I didn't know the game could do this. Like,
I
surely
know,
it's
yeah.
going to crash any second.
Yeah.
But no, in terms
Yeah.
of packing games, I feel like Wii Sports has got to be the one, right? Because it was such a moment in that it was
You've
like,
not played Astro's Playroom.
I know,
man.
but you haven't invited all your mates round because you've got one, and like, oh, everyone's got to come and play
they
this
just
together.
didn't come.
Really? Do you know what I mean? Like that.
No, I
that
don't be saying, Wii
Yeah.
Sports is probably the one, isn't it? Yeah, you're probably right.
Absolutely.
You're probably right. I think Tetris would have been the one if everyone had a link cable. I think that might
That's
have
true, that would have helped.
maybe done
Yeah,
it. But
yeah.
Still trying to figure this out. I'm still trying to figure it
everyone
out.
was having Tetris parties.
In terms of the question saying there's no merch, I mean, Janet Garcia, who's a former host or guest on this show, only like over the weekend she posted the fact that she got like an Astro Bot model or something. So they're out there. You can still find them.
You can still find them.
Oh, I need to do the races again because I noticed that listening to the show, Cole Hickman has beaten me on a couple of those Astro Bot races. So I need to go back to that really. But
Yeah, Astro Bot's Playroom was one of a few. Well, the one on the one on PS5 was one of a few I've actually like got every trophy. One of a few I've actually platinumed because it's just such a bloody fun game.
right.
Okay, I've just found the original Game Boy box, which was the one.
I'm watching someone unbox
This
it
is the
now.
one I had, right? And it says here,
Posho
Tetris
edition.
game pack, stereo earphones and batteries included. Also includes video link cable for simultaneous multiplayer competition.
Show me the picture of that box.
All right, hang on. How much? Put it in the chat, yeah. Hang on.
But that's
because
how do we know that's the only SKU that was available? Then?
Well, that's the one I had, which was the. Let's have a look. Hang on.
oh, is it the grey one? Is it the right? I think I know which one you got.
This one.
Which included that. Wait,
This is the
if
one-
it's
this is
that's
the-
the wrong one. That's not the original.
That is
That's
the
not
original. That's the first one that came out.
No, I show you what the box looked like originally.
Because that's the European box. Because that's the one I had.
Dave, you can show like the robot hands on it.
Yeah, the robot, the
Yeah.
see-through
Oh,
hands.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
the
No,
was
that's
original,
that's
isn't it?
the
one we
front
have.
of the box. The one I've just sent you is the back.
This is
the back of the
fantastic
box.
radio, lads. This
This
is
is-
Yeah. Okay, all right. Well, we'll find out, won't we?
I mean,
We
someone's
will
going to
find
write
out.
in and correct me anyway. But it's just, I mean, look. In fact, look. I've got a picture of
I
the
think you might be
interior
right.
of the
I've got
box.
a picture of the interior
And
of the
it's
box,
got the
and it
link
does look
cable
like
in
there's
it.
a link cable in
Yeah.
there, Sean.
Okay, good. We got there.
But how do we know that's the only
Okay.
SKU? Surely
Oh,
that's...
Well, this
Fuck
is
off.
it. I'd be very surprised if they launched with that.
Yeah.
They did launch with that. I
Yeah,
had
if
it.
you buy
I
the
was
fucking
there.
expensive bundle.
I was there. You were like 2 years old or whatever.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
true.
there
He
when
was
this came out.
26. He was driving. He drove to pick his
I
up.
picked this
He's
up
on
with my
point.
money from my first job. Okay, just
Anyway, that's the end
What was
of the
your- what was
first
your first job?
question. Next
What
question.
was your first job,
I
James?
will say,
Delivered
it says here the
newspaper
first
shop.
Oh, no.
This is Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It says it was released alongside the original Game Boy. So
Ooh. Yeah, of course it was released alongside it.
Okay,
Anyway.
right, that's enough.
Anyway, Rudgy says, Dear TCGS, inexplicably I find myself reaching the age of 50 this Wednesday the 18th of January. Happy birthday, mate.
Wow.
My eldest two children are now at university and I suddenly have more time for gaming, brackets, and family, etc. For my job, I'm a drink specialist and I often do beer and cider, beer/cider and food evenings. So for my birthday, which drink should I match with which video game? For starters, can I suggest Call of Duty with a can of Stella, Fortnite with a fruit shoot, and anything James plays with a Jaeger bomb? Thanks as always for such great content, chaps. Love and hugs to you and yours, Rudgy.
We need a game. We need Max Payne and whiskey.
Yeah. 100%.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think of that.
I reckon there's a lot of. I reckon most, like cozy games. I reckon lots of cozy games would be all right with a whiskey. I think.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Obviously, I've never even tried it. It just strikes me as a cozy drink.
It's not a cozy drink at all. I don't like.
I would
straight
like to
whiskey.
recommend a Game of Civilization, a nice gin and tonic. Sitting there.
That sounds all right.
Yeah, but they're just two things you like.
No,
You don't match them
I don't
together,
think it
do you?
needs any more of a link than that, does it? I can't think of any others.
Yoshi's Island and WKD Blue. I don't know why. It just feels like it goes together, right?
But there's that one level in Yoshi's Island with the fucking psychedelics. So maybe we need to. Maybe it's not something that you have a drink with. It's just do some mushrooms and then play Yoshi's Island. And then you'll do that one level and just be like, this is just like all the others. Why is everyone saying this level's really weird? It's just
Yeah.
I'm thinking Kirby with tequila rose. I think that would
Good
work.
one. Good
or
one.
a pink lemonade.
Like
Just pink
that.
lemonade for Kirby out for me.
Or that.
Yeah.
James,
I've already said.
any more?
I gave one already. I'm done.
He's put a shift
Okay,
in.
we'll move on, shall we?
Maria
A few
Mendieta.
ideas for you there, Roger.
Maria Mendieta says, Dear TCGS, Cortex and Crash, after you'll talk about controllers that cater to making games accessible, I got to thinking about accessibility in terms of resources. In places of the global south where internet bandwidth is severely capped, expensive, or requires computing hardware that is double what it costs in Europe or North America, many modern games are unplayable. Why are large parts of the world being forgotten in the leap forwards that the industry claims to be making? Here's to another laughter-filled year of exemplary podcasts. And sincerely, Maria.
I mean,
It does seem strange, doesn't
the
it?
sad,
I mean, it's-
the sad
Go on,
thing of this, I would say, is probably money. Like if
I was
they
gonna say,
think they can coin it in with loads of cash, they'd be doing that. But
Yeah.
they probably don't feel they can make the amount of money that they can in the other markets, and that's
But
why.
it's like well, we've got a friend that we game with regularly. He's going to hate hearing me talk about this, but he's got he can only get like a 30 gig download, and he's at the point where he's just like, a lot of these players they're getting so much lag in these games now because they're expecting even higher, download speeds. What's going on? And you'd think logically they'd be thinking, keep that down as much as you possibly can because it gives you a wider range of people that you can sell your game to. Surely,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it must be hard though because these games are getting more and more complex, and that's more and more data flying back and forth. It's not an easy thing to do anymore. I remember when it used to be all peer to peer, where servers were. You had to buy a server if you wanted to play on a server, and the amount of times you would play a game, and if you were winning against the person who was hosting, just turn their Xbox off. Just be, oh, fuck you. Do you know what I mean? Because what's to stop? Yeah. That peer-to-peer stuff was rough.
This is where, Microsoft and other companies are thinking, the cloud gaming thing, because then you don't have the barrier to the entry of the hardware.
Yeah,
but
you've got the
you've still got stream.
Exactly. Then you've got the internet. It's still the problem. How do you connect with that? It is a massive miss market, obviously, and it's a shame. But I think it's.
But you're right. I think they've probably done the calculations to say, oh, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? Which sucks.
It's a real
course
shame.
It sucks.
Because remember, when the Xbox One was originally announced, and there was all the always online shit that everyone hated, and even then it was people saying but even rural North America, that's going to be a fucking nightmare. I don't know. Obviously, things have progressed since then, I assume, but for a long while, internet in rural America was a fucking nightmare. It's just the speeds were just absolutely embarrassing. So they were already ignorant enough of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing because I'm James and David, I and myself have re-listened to old One Up Yours podcasts, and I'm currently listening to 2006, and they were talking about this because this is the advent of the 360 and the PlayStation 3, starting to have, will I have DLC, and what DLC would I have, and horse armor, this and that.
Yeah, the horse armor reference.
Yeah,
to be fair to John Davison, he turns around and goes, people will be talking about horse armor for years and years to come. And he weren't wrong.
A lot of the stuff John Davison said is actually, no, that is how things turned out.
Yeah, he was very
incredibly impressive. But that was a 2006 podcast, and we're still kind of having this discussion. So I'd love to know how much has changed over that time. Whether the base level kind of internet in, say, rural America has increased to a point, or it's really just about the kind of the main kind of metropolis, the main city centres or cities who have got massive increases in internet and data speed, whereas the baseline for other places still hasn't changed that much. I'd love to know.
Right, next one comes from Ben. He says, after the Game of the Year show, are there any games you're thinking of picking up or finishing? David's trying the winner. Is Sean going to finish the listener's choice? Is Matt going to stop pretending he's trying to get into JRPGs and just do it? Will anyone even think about hindsight?
Probably not.
I think we're all pretty much...
Well, yeah, no, actually, I'm going for a few of them, aren't I?
Yeah.
So I've done Citizen Sleep, I've finished that. Pentiment is on my list to do. But I think that might be it. No, what was the Norco was another one that was interesting.
I've got Norco and Pentiment on my list as two things I still want to play.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
So I'm trying to finish. I've not played any this week, but I'm still trying to finish. Then I played Chronicles 3. After that, it'll definitely be Norco would be the next one.
Right.
And then in about a year's time, I might play God of War Ragnarok if they bring it to PC.
Have you given up on the first game?
No, not at all. Just other stuff. I've not played many games this week anyway, but just other stuff to play. I'll definitely get around to it.
It's good. Did you make it to The Witch?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, not played
That's
much
a
at
big
all.
moment.
That
fucking where she lives and
the big
that's
fight
so
with the mysterious man, and then shortly after that I stopped. So yeah.
Okay.
Because I was, it was like this. I was like, this is a good point to stop because I am really intrigued about where it's going. So yeah. We'll go back. Last one from Barrel of Cheese.
In terms of JRPGs, I mean, I'm still playing Final Fantasy VII. I mean,
that's
I don't know
true.
what else I can say to you. Still playing that.
Yeah. Barrel of Cheese says, dear TCGS cocoa-based cereal, New Year is upon us, and I often take the first week or so of January to reflect on the last year. My profession is working as an animator, and as I listen to the podcast and Marvel calls, I often imagine how certain moments would happen as a Dan Cripps / Dark Call style fanimation.
That was so good.
I wondered which TCGS moments of 2022 would you all like to see? Keep up the great work, Barrel of Cheese.
TCGS moments I mean, what were the highlights last year? Obviously, TCGS Con comes to mind, but we got the video of that. So
I wasn't sure if they meant in terms of like podcast moments or things, because obviously the Dark Calls one was kind of an animation to you talking about stuff you did in the game, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So I was thinking about. I mean, it's kind of been on my mind anyway, because Dwarf Fortress has had this big proper Steam release, and I've been thinking about early this year I played a shitload of RimWorld, and do you remember I told that story about how my little settlement set on fire and then everyone died and then the dog went mad and one guy came to rescue everyone, and the dog started attacking him, and he had to knock out the dog. And then he rebuilt the whole place, but became best friends with the dog, and they were like the beginning of the new colony. Oh yeah, that was good.
I think not 2022, but my word, if anyone wants to do some animation of clips of the show, it's got to be the mini chief. Right? You've got to find a mini chief bit, and then clip that and turn that into an animation, because just having him come out of the pocket is already making me laugh. I was big fan of the mini chief. James,
there's a lot of them good moments from the 2021 Advent calendar where we just picked a lot of the good little moments over the first few years.
We need to, because we did get a question about this, but I haven't got time to read it out. But Ricky Cartwright mentioned like the possibility of doing like a best of show or something. We at least
we did it for Joypod.
Yeah.
It's so much work.
I know, this is the thing, isn't it? Like, I was thinking, like, should we at least try and, like, take some notes throughout the year about bits we might... Like, if we wanted to do something like that, just so the resource is there, so when we come to the end of the year, we're not just like, well, I don't remember most of it.
Possibly.
Do you know what I mean? But I don't know.
I think that's a good idea. I mean, that's why I write down every game I play, because I'll forget otherwise.
It took me like 4 times the amount of work than a normal episode.
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
Maybe even more. It was so much work. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, no one wants to hear a clip show, do they?
Yeah. I listen to... Well, because I listen to Ellis and John every week, and they put out a best of for the year every Christmas. And yeah, I used to to it
fucking
twice.
hate that in TV shows, American TV shows. Here's a clip show. What? These are just bits of old episodes. Why are we watching these? Oh, Friends did it. I think they were contracted to do it once a year or something because obviously,
cheap.
Here's a budget. We can charge people to, advertise on this Friends show, but it costs us fuck all to make.
So, anime is notorious for this. And I first discovered it.
Really?
Yeah, I first discovered it when I was watching Gundam Wing back in the day. And there's these like 2 episodes where basically it starts like 2 characters are having a fight, and then like one like pins the other one on the ground. And he's holding a gun to his face, and then it's 2 episodes of it like cutting to one of them, and they're going like, "Oh man, remember this?" And then it'll show like 10 minutes of a clip, and then it'll cut to the other guy who's like, "Oh yeah, I remember when also this happened." And then it's another 10 minutes of just an old episode.
Crazy. We could do that.
I've got a couple of series, like anime series, that I still watch, and like a lot of them, the reason they do that is because the anime catches up with the manga or whatever, so they need to stretch the time.
Because Naruto did that, didn't it? Because didn't Naruto
they did it many times?
Yeah, sort of outpaced the books, and they were like. Yeah, well, so you had the next book is going to be like a 20-year time skip.
Yeah.
So I get just fucking, I don't know.
And they've like filler for ages, and then you end up with episodes where it's like, they just do summaries basically of what's happened, and it's just like, this is getting ridiculous. It's it's very irritating.
Anime and Friends.
Yeah. Lot in common.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar.
I always get mixed up.
The difference sometimes.
I know, like off menu actually do a 2-part. They did a 2-part best of this year.
Really.
The off menu podcast.
Many good bits. I went off that. Do you still listen like regularly?
Well, I only really started listening in the last like few months.
Okay.
Really.
Well, I mean, you've got loads of good stuff to catch up on.
Yeah.
But
for me, the best ofs are great.
Yeah. No,
it is good. I've gone for the Bob Mortimer one. Greg Davies. Was brilliant.
Jay Rayner's one is predictably brilliant as well.
Okay, cool. I'll get on with that.
Are we done?
Yeah. Let's go home.
Matt, socials.
Let's go home. Yeah, a stream. So I know. Have we mentioned? Yeah, we mentioned Granny's Garden. Did we? Did we mention the show? Was that
Granny's
pre-show?
Garden. That was so much fun, James. And to be able to turn around and say that I have finished Granny's Garden. Yeah. And do you know what's really funny is that I've spoken to many people that have no idea what Granny's Garden is, and seem like, why would you do that? This is Granny's Garden, man. What? Why would you? What a waste of everyone's time. And then you meet people that are like, you finished Granny's? What? You finished it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Play through the entirety of Granny's Garden in an hour and a half, no less. Yeah. What a game.
That is the James and David's stream is on our YouTube channel. So if you want to see them play Granny's Garden, go over to YouTube and find that. But in terms of
if
new
you've
streams,
got one of those really old tellies with the sides and those really old CRT tellies, don't worry about it because James has your resolution covered. Yeah. Well, did you stream it in, James? 240p.
I mean, that is actually less than like the original PAL
standard.
TV signal.
It's ridiculous. I said, did you see my reply to his tweet, Sean? The next day he tweeted saying, I finished Granny's Garden and posted a crisp screenshot of Granny's Garden. And then I went to our video, took a screenshot of how it looks like on our stream and replied with it. You could barely read the letters of it. It's so funny.
Yeah, because I think the stream is like a 720p video of a 240p stream. So
I tell you what he didn't upload. I'll tell you what he didn't upload in a really bad resolution, Sean. The ending to God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Pin sharp.
No, that was all in high definition.
It wasn't actually the ending. It was quite close to the end, but not quite the ending.
Close enough.
Anyway, so in terms of streams this week, on Thursday, Sean is streaming Echoes the Dancer.
No, this is all out the window now, isn't it?
Yeah,
we changed it before we started the recording. So Thursday's now the GTA stream.
Okay, so is that Wednesday?
Unless, I mean, James, are you doing anything on Friday?
Yeah, I was thinking of doing something.
Okay, so I'll do mine on Wednesday. Thursday's GTA, and then Friday's James's. Yeah. I'm going to do Echoes the Dancer, which is an audio puzzle game. It'll make sense when you watch the stream, I think. But it's basically like I'm going to have like a load of cards out on a table, and you like scan them in, and it like gives you clues, and we're going to solve a murder in an old Scottish castle. Apparently, I'm really excited. I hope it works and isn't shit.
The video sent us look good, so I'm interested to see how that works. So that's Wednesday at 9 p.m. Thursday at 9 p.m. we'll be doing our Patreon stream for £8.50 and above patrons, where we're going to start the next GTA heist. Now, the last one ended in spectacular circumstances, so I'm very excited to play it. That'll be Thursday at 9. And Friday at 9, James, you're thinking about doing something, are you?
Yeah, it's at the moment I can't decide whether to do another retro stream of some description or to start playing Dark Souls 3. I'm not sure. It's one of those.
Oh, Dark Souls 3 would be good.
Yeah.
It would be good. It's a very good game.
Yeah, so I'd like to play it because I'd like to play it and finish it. It's like finish the trilogy, then I've done them all. But yeah. I know, but then also something retro kind of appeals because it's less stress.
And it doesn't matter so much if you stream it in 240p.
Exactly,
right?
Yeah. So true. I need to get that sorted out, yeah.
So yeah, there will be a James stream sometime at Friday some game, but will be streamed Friday night at 9 p.m. So yeah, Wednesday is Sean Echoes the Dancer, Thursday GTA stream on Patreon, and Friday it's the James stream there at 9 o'clock on twitch.tv/TCGS, apart from the Patreon one. And if you have Amazon Prime, you've got Twitch Prime Gaming, connect your Amazon account with a Twitch account. You get a free sub every month. Go to our channel, give us a free sub. We really appreciate it. The Patreon is patreon.com/TCGS, where you'll be able to watch the GTA stream on Thursday, and our bonus show will be out next week. And the website's tcgs.co for links to our amazing Discord community, our socials, Marvel calls, podcasts, store, merch, the lot. It's all on there.
Well, thank you so much for living it. We will catch you next week for some more video game chats. We hope you have a good week. Goodbye, everybody.
Ta-ra.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.